Hello, YouTube, and for the final time this season, welcome to the FPL Pubcast, the big FPL Pubcast end of season review. We did this last season before it was called the Pubcast with the same cast I've got with me today, except with Steve-O instead of Darius. And it was my favourite stream we've probably done on the
God
channel
rest his soul.
God rest his soul in a year and a half. So I am very much looking forward to today. I'll get on to what we're going to be talking about in a minute, but no, I'll mention it now. We're going to go over our seasons briefly, but we're not going to go through like you would have seen on other streams. We're not going to go through who we should have captained, what our game week one score is. We're just going to give a summary, look over the Pubcast League. Who won the coveted wooden spoon? Who won the Pubcast League? Who won the cup? Out of me and Andrew, although he's already said it in his own videos. We're going to have a look at the public league. We're going to have a look at who won the differentials. But then we're going to get into the interesting bit. We're going to get into our season review. We're going to be talking about how FPL could improve, who our favourite players were, what our favourite moments were, doing content. We're going to talk about everything and anything on this stream. Last season, it was 3 hours. I don't know if it will be that long again. We will see. But joining me, first of all, he's been saying I've not been giving him as much love as I should. So I'm going to introduce him here with all the love I can. 4 times top 1K finisher, a chess champion, the man that the content creator goes to for advice. He is the Pubcast mini league champion. As a bit of a spoiler, Trig, my friend, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Looking forward to this one. Season's over now. Forget all that bollocks about who's the best. We want World Cup fantasy now.
World Cup fantasy.
Always think ahead, Gary.
And where has Darius disappeared to there?
He's gone.
Also joining me.
Finally packed up on him.
He's packed up, yeah. Also joining me is, I've not written a long introduction, the man from up north. He's joining us from his shed, fresh from a shed rant. I've not written an introduction for you. It's Andrew, FPL Nightmare. How you doing, mate?
Hello, I'm not so bad. How is everybody? How are my audio levels? We all know that's the important question. How are my audio levels? I'm not sure. I think I've got the gain a bit loud. I am excited for tonight. Very hot up here, very sweaty. It's almost like I'm about to go on a 10-minute rant about Bateman or something.
Is that why Gary's got his bra on? Because the temperature's high today.
I can't believe Gary's come on here wearing a bra. Like, ooh,
It's a sports top. It's a sports top for
you're measuring your heart rate. Measuring your heart rate through the show.
I've had my aircon on all day, but I can't have it on when I'm doing this because the audio levels have been completely messed up. And also joining us at the bottom, very kindly, because it's the middle of the night, there is, of course, the lovely Darius, FPL Dean. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I've just realised that I must be having some internet issues because I was appearing completely black on screen when I was loading on YouTube. But it looks like we've got some camera there now, and it looks like it's moving. So hopefully I've managed to fix it very quickly there. So, yeah, hello, welcome. The unit did not finish last because I'm a genius and I just took the bigger hit. We're going to talk about that later on, and I can't wait to talk about it.
Did you ever figure out what
Darius, neither can I.
Did you ever figure out what got me and Kanji got kicked out of your stream on Sunday, Darius? Was that your internet?
I have no idea, to be honest, because the entire thing was fine, and then all of a sudden you started doing some Mexican wave, and Streamlabs kicked you both out. All I can put it down
the
to is
the Mexican wave. The Boeing goal deserved a little bit of a dance. So before we get into it, so we're going to start by going over our teams and the leagues and stuff, and then we're going to get on to our actual review. Before I do that, I'll say hello to people in the chat. We've got Joseph Robinson, Animations. Evening all. Any of you doing World Cup fantasy? I'll ask you. I think Trig and maybe Darius. I don't know.
Yeah, I've already done a video about it, so I'm looking forward to that. It's brilliant for me in the New Zealand time zone. First game of the day, 7 a.m. Last game of the day, 4 p.m. Absolutely fantastic. Entire day watching the World Cup for a month. That'd be excellent.
The England game's on until 9, and 10 o'clock. I looked it up last night in the UK. No, I guess it's not too bad. Darius, you doing any, mate?
Yeah, so I'm excited for it because England games are like 5 a.m. So like that's pretty much the time I wake up during the off season anyway. So I'm pretty happy about that. So can't really complain. And yeah, like Trig, it might be eating in my work hours though, because the football will be on when I'm at work, and I'll be just having it casually there on my computer on the side. I hope no one listens to this that works with me because I'm in trouble.
You're not playing now, are you, Darius? Because they've got shots on target. You said you weren't going to play any game with shots on target.
Yeah, I'm not overly infuriated. Other than that, I don't mind the rest of the rules. But that one there, I was like, oh God, just give the forwards more points for goals and like, why reward crap? You want forwards that aren't scoring shouldn't be getting rewarded with anything, really.
Anyway, let me continue my hellos, and we'll discuss all this later. Hi to Matthias, Harry. Turn the light on. I think he might be talking to you there, Darius. Put another 50p in the meter, Darius. Harry saying, anyone got lower than 23 points for the last game week? No, I don't think so, mate. Hi to Claire. Audio good. Harry saying, Progiddy, how's it going, mate? Do you like the Progiddy? Do you like the? I'm not quite skinhead, but I had a shave one today. Every other point, P Macca, and Ollie. Hello, everyone. All right, okay, let's get into it. So I've got so many things open here because we're doing quite a bit in this one. Usual thing, please like and subscribe. Right, I've been a bit lazy, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't be bothered to do slides for all of this, so I'm going to go from my slides to the FPL website, and we are going to have a look at the final FPL Pubcast table and give a quick chat on how our seasons were. So no surprises who the winner was. It was, of course, Nick. Final game week score of 59. He'd won this league ages ago. He's a whole 49 points, 51 points ahead of me. Just 20k in the world, Trig. We're not going to read through the teams and everything. There's no point in doing that. But how happy were you with your final rank, mate, this season? And got a little boost at the end on Sunday at midnight, didn't we?
Yeah, it was okay, I guess. You know, people saying I should be very happy with 20k, but I think I was 10k after game week 32, and then I think we underestimated the effect of everybody's chips, didn't we, really? So you can't complain at 20k. I think we're going to have to get used to not having fantastic finishes like we have in previous years, because everybody's got a new set of chips, haven't they? So made it a lot harder this season, really. So when I was at 10k, I was thinking I was going to get to 5k, but it was a bit unrealistic with no chips left. So 20k, I settled for that. Tavernier with a nice goal at the end there, wouldn't it? So if it wasn't for Bowen suddenly getting lots of points, I would have been on the verge of 10k, I think.
Yeah, I've watched two of your videos.
It's a problem I had all season, Trig. Every player I had just didn't get the points, and every player everybody else had did. If it had only gone the other way, I would have been up in the top 10k too.
I love Darius's video he made yesterday. I've watched all of your season reviews and Darius's season review. If only I'd captained the best captain every week, I'd have finished a whole 10 points ahead of Gary. Which I left a comment, yes, that's true, mate. But if I'd have picked the best highest scoring team every week and the best captain every week, I'd have won FPL. So, it swings and roundabouts.
Come on.
If my granny had wheels, then she'd be a bicycle.
The difference is, though, it's easy to pick the best captain every week, but it's not easy to pick the best players every week and win FPL. But it is easy to fix your captain problem. You can do that in an instant. Anyone can do that and greatly improve.
Did you know that?
I would just interject here. Shut up, Darius. I will interject here to point out that considering we all say it's not easy to win FPL. We've had an absolute rookie, never played the game before. Captain David Raya twice in the opening 7 game weeks, and he's absolutely walked the game. So I would argue it actually is a lot easier than many of us think, and we overcomplicate it by thinking we're being clever.
We do overthink a lot of things, don't we? But yeah, and I saw you. So yeah, go on, Darius. Were you going to say something?
That's all right. I saw that, that none of us actually picked the best captain in any single game week over the 38 weeks. So as much as Trig says it's good to pick a good captain, none of us actually picked the number one captain that week. So did we actually do very good at captaincy, or did you just get slightly luckier than I did with terms of picking my captain?
But the one with the best score isn't necessarily the best captain. You're never going to pick the player in the entire player universe that's got the most points in a game week. That's just going to be some random player, isn't it? But we do know generally in most weeks which the best captain is. And if you're going to go against it, long term, you're going to hurt yourself. And that's
it's effective ownership. That's the key, isn't it, True?
Well, it's part of it, but it's also the points. I mean, the ones that are the top are normally the ones because they're expected to get the most points, aren't they? So, and generally they've done pretty well. They do most seasons, all the analysis I've done, the top of the poll always beats the second of the poll virtually every season. And they beat the third in the poll, and they beat the fourth in the poll. So if you're going to be picking these players that are like 5th and 6th popularity, then over time you are hurting yourself. And you're right. If you had picked the top of the poll every week, you would have beaten Gary this season. But the fact you're not doing it, you're hurting yourself. I know you think you're being clever. Like everyone thinks they know best, don't they? Like you and Andrew picking Gordon and all these things. It's great thinking you know best and that, but part of being good at FPL is realizing that you don't know better than everybody else, and that sometimes you should just go with what is actually objectively the best pick and not what you think is like the best pick, like some player from Newcastle who's doing this, that, or the other. But it depends how you like to play it. Some people say that's boring, but
I agree with you, Trig. Next season, I'm going to let other people make all my decisions for me as well. Maybe then I'll be on the Trig level.
I wouldn't go that far. Captain's too important to mess around with, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Quadrily's saying, is there any particular player you lads wish you had all season? We're going to get on to all that later. We've got questions and all that once we've gone through the leagues. So second in the league was myself, pretty convincing, 50 points ahead. That's a big lead, Trig's what I mean. It's a big league I got over Kanji in the second place. To be honest, the only thing I cared about was my top 100k finish, which I managed to get. I finished on 74k, went up 2k, which was quite nice on Sunday night because I was expecting it to go down. I always measure my season by whether we get in the top 100k. It's my fifth top 100k finish, my 4th best finish of all time. So I'm happy with it. You know what I mean? First season creating content. The only thing I'd say, it was a very boring season, as in usually, I get in the top 100k and I'm battling up there in the top 10k, top 20k, or I'm right down into 500,000 until like game week 32. And then it's a rush to try and get to the top 100k. This season, it was just boring. I was just on the precipice of the top 100k for like 2/3 of the season. It was boring. Andrew, you're looking a little bit quizzical there.
I'm just amused by what you said. I think I might be a bit delirious by the heat, but you're saying you've had a boring season. All you've done is copy Trig and Big Andy for the last 19 game weeks. So no wonder you're bored. I'm not even gonna give that. The whole group chat since game week 32 has been, oh, Trig, what are we doing this week? Oh, Trig, what are we doing this week? Oh, Gary, what we should do this week is this. It's like, honest to God, it's like Steve and Ray all over again.
Well, to be fair, they didn't copy each other's
Which
teams.
one's Steve-O?
They had the same team.
Well, looking at that vest, you'll have to say Gary is Steve-O, like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, this is a bra. This is a sports bra. This isn't a vest.
Have a pint in the chat has compared you to the wrestler King Kong Bundy, and the comparison is very fitting. Bring up a picture of King Kong Bundy.
I know what King Kong Bundy looks like, mate. I'm
He's like
taking
baby
that.
Andre the Giant with no hair.
I'm taking that. Then sneaking in to third by 1 point is Kanji, who sadly didn't send us a video because I asked Roberto and Kanji to send us a little video because obviously they're not on tonight. But he finished 237k. I think he would have considered this season a disappointment. I mean, I don't know if we want to briefly mention Andrew. He's put a post. He reckons next season might be the last season he's playing. He put that on X, didn't he?
Oh, everyone always says this, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Darius the other day said if they're bringing shots on target, he's going to quit playing FPL altogether and only make content, which is nonsense because he's about to start his World Cup team with that exact rule. You know, people just say things for attention. And you just have to, they're like overactive children. You just have to ignore them sometimes.
What was that?
I've just sent you a picture, Gary. I've just sent you a picture of King Kong Bundy to put up on the screen so the rest of the audience can get the reference.
Give him a pair of glasses and it's spot on, isn't
it? He's much better looking than me. Come on. Okay.
Fantastic. Let's just leave King Kong Bundy there for the rest of the show.
I remember him fighting Hulk Hogan. Was it WrestleMania 1 he fought Hulk Hogan?
WrestleMania 2 in the steel cage.
WrestleMania 2, yeah. Bloody hell, it's not let me add the thing back on now. So anyway, there's Candy. Hopefully he will obviously be playing next season. He picked Roberto to fourth in the Pubcast League by a single point. And to return to wrestling, do you remember in The Undertaker, they used to say, what's going on in here? I feel a chill in the air. Like, it's getting cold in here, Brian. It's getting cold in here, Brian. What's going on?
Brian.
Hello, everyone. It's FPL Yellow Army here, reporting for duty, looking back on game week 38 and ultimately what was the 2025 to 26 FPL season for my team. And all in all, we'll look back at how game week 38 got on, how the season got on for me, and my first season in the FPL Pubcast team. It's great to be part of the team, and it was great to have that flexibility to, come on when I had the availability. The Pubcast Ghost was my nickname, but in the end, I think, I've actually managed to squeeze myself into a good rank, rather than some people who have finished in the millions, won't mention any names. I've glided my way through like a ghost into a very respectable rank come the end.
There we go. That's enough of that. So I asked Kanji and young Roberto to send me a 1 to 2 minute video, knowing that they wouldn't be on this week. And bless Roberto, he sent me a 7-minute video of his end of season review, which I wasn't going to play the full 7 minutes. But if you'd like to go and check that out, do go and check out at FPL Yellow Army on YouTube, and you can see a full season review of Roberto's season there. But did you like the way I did that, guys, by building in the Undertaker? It's getting cold in this room. The ghost, you see what I mean? It's chilling. All my best laid plans go nowhere, don't they? So Roberto is on 240k. I reckon he'll be pretty satisfied by that, considering he was down in the millions in game week, or 1 million in about game week 30. Do you reckon he'd be satisfied with that, Trig?
Yeah, he said he was. He said it's a respectable rank. It's very much like that, isn't it? It's how you finish kind of defines your season, doesn't it, in a way? Like you're saying, if he has come from millions, then he's probably pretty happy. Whereas if he'd come from 5k to 200, he'd be all depressed, wouldn't he, if he was 241k? But he's done well. He's been on a bit of a tear, hasn't he, recently?
Yeah. And now we've got Andrew disappeared. It's very spooky around here going on today. So, in the battle for the wooden spoon, they've both got a wooden spoon behind their head, and I will add Andrew back into the chat.
That's why he's disappeared.
Hello again.
He knows he's last. He needs to be in the right position.
It's not that. On my little teleprompter, the StreamYard page went missing, so I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see all your handsome faces and Gary's guns. So I had to quickly reload the web page so I could see everything. Because otherwise, how could I reference anything we're talking about?
King Kong Bundy doesn't have guns on me, mate. I'll tell you that. But Hulk Hogan style guns, I'd say. But anyway, the battle for the wooden spoon. It came down to the wire. There was only a couple of points in it. But I have to say, Darius, a very impressive game week 38. You ended up avoiding the wooden spoon and beating Andrew by 30 points in the end, mate. And also, you did manage to get in the top 1 million, mate.
Yeah, smoked it. I looked at the last week and I was like, you know what? Nightmare looks like he's taking a hit. I've got to take at least a -8 to make sure it's all fair and square before we start. So we actually started on the exact same amount of points in the final game week. And I literally handed out a footballing masterclass to the Nightmare as he bet all in on Newcastle, who were absolutely dog crap. And I went all in on the West Ham, and West Ham repaid the faith, even though unfortunately they couldn't prevent themselves from going down. Literally every player I said would bang from West Ham did exactly that. Got 8 points, 12. That was probably my best return from a triple up this season. So I was pretty happy about that. And Brian and Pumo, after being dog crap for about the last 10 weeks, the last couple of weeks, returned the faith. And sometimes maybe that's a lesson. If you hold a player for long enough, they'll actually do something.
And then, Andrew, it came down to the last day of the season, mate. We always excellently read someone sent earlier in the chat where I thought, you said you originally did your content. You wanted to do it like a promo for wrestling. I thought that one you did on Sunday was the closest to like perfect promo I've seen. But mate, you've got the Pubcast Wooden Spoon, the coveted Pubcast Wooden Spoon. I was going to buy Andrew one, but we decided in the end if we were going to pass it around the host, it might be a bit expensive to post it to Trig and Darius, more likely if they ever win it.
We won't ever get it, so we won't need to worry about posting it.
Well, and 1.3 million in the world, mate. How are you feeling?
I feel quite good, to be honest. I mean, what I find has happened this last week is that Darius has been exposed as a massive bullshitter, because all last week he was like, I want to win the wooden spoon. I want to be memorable. I want something to remember the season by. And listen to him now. Darius is just a fraud. Like, he just tells you whatever you want to hear every week. I am desperately disappointed with my performance this season. And whatever happened last week, it would have been the same scenario. But, at least when you get the FPL Nightmare on stream, you get something real. You get something honest. Someone who is genuine in their emotions. And look, I am an artist. I am a storyteller, and I have told a story this season, but it is a multi-year story, a multi-season arc. Yes, I am at the dark night of the soul in the hero's journey. The hero's journey story archetype has seen me. You have to reach the depths for you to have something to rise back from. But now I've got my targets. Next season, D-Unit, Trig, Gary, Kanji, maybe Roberto, but, and then, of course, FPL Punk. I'll be taking them all on. I am coming from nothing. I am coming from my worst ever season, and I will tell the story of my efforts. Me and my tag team partner, Solio, will find our way back to the top. We have done Soul versus Solio. All season I've been going on about Soul versus Solio. I have given this season my soul. Now, as a man of science, as a man of logic and reason, it is only fair to give Solio we have the soul. Now we need to see what the Solio can do. And I can already see Trig trembling in his chair all the way in Australia, New Zealand, trembling at the thought of Nightmare and Solio fusing into one superpower. It's like Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage shaking hands and taking on the world, and it will implode at some point. We know that. By WrestleMania, King Kong Bundy's long retired by the time Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage shook hands. But obviously I'm disappointed to have a 1.3 million rank. Why wouldn't I be? But at the same time, I've beat 12 million other people, and that's an achievement by any stretch of the imagination. 12 million people left in the mud. See, FPL Pickle is in the chat going on about cheese melts. What's that all about? Why is Darius deleted it? Is this some sort of fake account?
Probably a fake. And I will just say,
Darius with his fake accounts, just like his fake emotions in the run-up to game week 38.
Do you know what the worst thing is? Nightmare's complaining about me. I literally tried my hardest to let you win. I brought in Phil Foden and captain him again, and I brought in the Wang. I brought in Wang and dumped it on you, and no one else in their right mind would have brought in those two players, but I didn't. I went back to the Phil Foden captaincy and I still smoked you by 30 points.
I tried to let you win by signing and captaining the player Man City were playing centre forward. Come on now. Honest to God.
He was playing centre forward. We thought Omar Mamouche was playing centre forward.
You get more genuine opinions from Big Man the Car.
Andrew, I can't believe you said it took you to game week 38 to realise Darius was a bullshit. Surely we knew that in game week 1. But I'll just say, Andrew,
I knew that last season. Now it's been exposed for the world to see.
Andrew, of course, does have a story going back through 3 books, as well as his YouTube channel, and I have bought his book there, Dancing from Disorder, which I will be planning to read. It's not an FPL book, this isn't it, Andrew? Which I will be planning to read over summer.
It's kind of more about my journey with mental health, ending up starts off with the story of me streaking my local football club, and then ends with me doesn't end with me getting sectioned. I get sectioned, and then I come back, and there's a heroic ending for me anyway. And it's going to be the same with my FPL. In my FPL books, I did 3 FPL books. The second one was the worst season. And then I came back and hit the top 10K. Well, this is my second season on YouTube. It's the worst season. And then I'm going to go away. I'm going to come up with the strategy. And I'm going to get that top 10K next season. I can't wait to beat Trig. People think I'm going to be thinking about beating Darius. Darius it's not even on my radar for next season. I'm
still the last one, but the highest rank, Nightmare.
You're not on the big man Bacar level.
Well, I'll just say, right, I wasn't going to.
Gary is the one with the highest rank recently. Gary with his 3,023 finish 3 seasons ago.
And I didn't want to bring.
So you're right, Darius. You're almost as good as the great Gary Beer. I will give you that.
I wasn't going to bring this up this last week, but Andrew made a big deal of the FPL Pubcast Host Cup, which literally only lasted. Most of us got a bye through in the quarterfinals, but it was me against Andrew, and unfortunately, Andrew, I've beaten you there as well, mate. So as you said,
no shame in losing to the better man.
Well,
congratulations, Nick Trig, for putting the team together that beat me in the final.
So, as we said we were going to do, let us have a look at the public podcast host mini league. And I see we've got Benji there in the chat, who I know is high up in the league. Where is the host? The normal league.
Down.
FPL Podcast. So, the top, we have Oliver Euston Baines. Congratulations, Pepper Minter Candy. You are the first official FPL Podcast League winner. He's on 1,400 overall rank. Congratulations. And he's Captain Bowen in the final game week. Very impressive, lads. That beats all of our best ever ranks, isn't it? Apart from Trig's. 1,400. And just a couple of names that I see regularly in chat. We've got Tommy the Gun, who just 10 points behind. He's in third. He is on 2K in the world. And also Benji, who is in the chat, who is in sixth. 3,000 in the world. I mean, they've all had great
Bring up
seasons.
Tommy the Gun's team again.
Yeah, let's see if it's AI. We'll decide if it's an AI team or not.
Tommy the Gun. No, he's got Justin.
Not an AI team. He's got an Arsenal defender. He's got a Bournemouth defender, a Brighton defender, a Leeds defender. That is the template, just slightly shuffled around. Look, he's even got Gyökeres up front. Come on now. At least be honest. Nobody is honest in this game. Everyone hides things. Big Andy hiding the fact he uses FPL review. They all hide things except your pal, the Nightmare, openly stating, I am embracing Solio next season. Once this stream ends, I am going to be in Jorgen's DMs, hitting him up for that free season subscription model to really push Solio next season. And I'll say I'll do it for free for the price of a subscription. I am going to be the Solio prophet next season.
I think you've bought a virus.
The Solio heretic.
I think you bought a virus over from your. I think you bought the virus that troll from your chat, Darius, has followed you over to the podcast today.
So I didn't have anything wrong with the last thing you were saying.
So the podcast.
Can you not just change, Gary? Can you not just change the chat so you have to have been subscribed for 5 minutes or something, and then that'll stop all this nonsense?
Yeah, I can't do it in a set. Let me do this, and then when I go back to the slides, I'll do it. So the Pubcast Cup wouldn't be that interesting, but of course, who was in the final, Trig?
Parrot.
Parrot.
I thought the Parrot had won, and then
Yes.
Bottled it.
I checked the score before. I didn't realise that the opponent captain Bowen, and when I looked, Bowen hadn't scored his goal, and the Parrot was leading, but Parrot ended up losing the final.
So we will shout out the winner if I can figure out how to find the winner. This is
good luck pronouncing his name.
The winner of the Pubcast Cup is Tian Sabritz, who beat Muffin Key 62-56.
Kia. It's a Kia, not a key.
Oh, right. Tian,
the world's most endangered alpine parrot, is also a very good FPL player.
I thought you were going to have a little graphic.
Him again soon.
I thought you were going to have a little graphic for him. I thought you were going to have a little graphic for us.
Oh yeah, I haven't uploaded the graphic. I've got a little video of the Kia, but
I guess he didn't win.
No, look, he got 6 points. Very good first season for the Parrot, though. Ended up 40k.
Yep, better than most. Well, better than me.
The Parrot's owner did very well, helping him a little bit.
Right, okay. I'm going to be very careful here because I'm sweating so much. It's going on the bloody touchpad, and I'm in danger of shutting down the entire stream. Okay, so congratulations again to Tian and who's the person who won the podcast league. Oliver, you win nothing. But our amazing thanks for supporting the channel. Maybe D Unit will send you a Pubcast shirt. He won. But right, let's go back to the slides. So any regular Pubcast watchers will be aware that this season, of course, we've been doing the differentials where we pick an under 5% owned player every week. We didn't actually do it since the start of the season. We started about game week 12. Game week 12, yeah. So I've managed to win this. Roberto did the best this week with Tatty. He's done very, very well. Roberto in second, very strong second half of the season, but I've beaten him there by a clear 30 points. Who's third? Andrew, you're third in this one, mate. 128. Pippin getting your own back on Darius, who's on 124. And then Trig avoiding the wooden spoon. Kindly there, the wooden spoon for the differentials. Been a fun game, this one, lads, isn't it? I quite enjoyed it. I was a bit opposed to putting this in, but I've quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's something we should do next season as well. I'm just disappointed to have only come third when I was aiming to come fourth to give Darius a chance of having something memorable on the last day. But, I did my best.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to do 50. I'm trying to do 50 things at once.
That went down like a lead balloon.
So now we are
just like Darius's rank.
Now we are going to get into the proper season review, and I will, as I'm doing this, I will change the settings so people can only comment after 5 minutes. We have got a list of questions to go through the lads with, and these are not related to our teams. These are related to FPL in general, some stuff about our season, some stuff about content, some stuff about what we're going to be doing over the summer. There's a ton of stuff in here. So I'm going to read through each question, and then we're just going to basically discuss them. So the first one, what was your best FPL moment or decision of the season? And I'm going to come to Darius first for this one because I think he will know instantly what it was. And it's one that involves slagging me off, essentially winding me up.
Come on, this is the best season, best FPL moment or decision of the season. But this is a trick question because the best FPL decision of the season was not Dirty Dom. That might have been the best moment of the season.
Moment? Well, you can have a moment and decision.
The best decision. Well, no, because the best. Well, I suppose you could say not buying Dirty Dom was probably a good decision because I wouldn't have had the 0 point. But I would argue that probably the best decision I had made all season was buying Harry Bloody Wilson for when he banged 16 points straight out the gate. So I reckon that's probably been my best decision of the season. The moment of the season though is definitely 100% when Dirty Dom missed that penalty. I mean, that was hilarious. Gary coming on talking absolute smack, and then he just disappeared when Dirty Dom missed his penalty. And that was it. So the best decision was definitely buying Harry Bloody Wilson. The best moment was definitely Dirty Dom when he missed that penalty that Gary had been frothing over for about 10 weeks. And eventually it came, and when it came, he pissed it.
He did come back, though, in a big style in terms of having a great season, though, didn't he? Andrew, how about yourself, mate? Best moment and or decision?
I think the best decision, I suppose the best call you could call it, would have to be Brookie Ailey. It's about the only thing I've got right this season, and I mean, I'm surprised more people didn't pick up on that because I was quite vocal about it for about 6 months, about this home rotation between Mookie Ailey and Bruno Guimaraes, and it's about the only thing I've got right this season, so I'm going to have to say that, because if you're talking other FPL decisions, there hasn't been many. But the best moment would probably be game week 37 when I took the chance on Osula and he got the 2 goals. It's especially given that the player I'd sold had gone and scored 2 goals as well. It was a bit like, oh my God, what is going on here? But then, Osula did the business, and it's a mixture of relief, elation, and, get me out of here. But it was nice, and the reason it was such a nice one for me is because it kind of restored a bit of confidence in my process, in my decision making, because I haven't really had a lot of faith in my choices. I haven't really had a lot of self-belief when it comes to this game this season, probably since about game week 30 last season. And the last few weeks after I got hooked in the traitors community, and I've barely been thinking about the game. I've actually just been like 10 minutes looking at it. What am I going to do here? And then I've made a decision, and then they've started going right. So that's something to take into next season, to stop overthinking and kind of trust. Well, I'd say trust myself, but as Andy Solio, I am going to trust my beloved Solio Analytics next season and see where that takes me.
Trig?
My best moment, I think, decision was Stack in that first bench boost when I brought him in for the bench boost. and got 30 odd points from a bench boost. And because I'd read an article in a German newspaper about him, and it was so good, and it just made him sound fantastic. So I put him in the memory banks, and then it came to the time for the double game week, and I finally was able to bring him in. A bit warm there, Gary, and
yeah, sweat coming down, mate.
I think he got 16 points or something like that, and he has shown he's been very good this season. I mean, the article was talking about his motivation because he wanted to get in the World Cup team, and I think at the time, after 2 or 3 weeks, he was actually just behind Bruno, wasn't he? In chances created, I think he was right at the top, and everyone was saying it was just a fluke and everything. But I got him in for that double, and he was great for the bench boost.
Just share a couple of them in the chat. Chow 70-pointer, Cone saying was his best one. Dan saying Canati goal. Not sure what goal that would have been.
That's the one where Trig stormed off the locking, Gary. How do you not remember
this? Oh, yes.
I remember. I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, I remember that one.
Never is turning off a computer caused such a kerfuffle as me just saying, I'm sick of FPL, I'm logging off. And what a load of reactions. That's the biggest overreaction of the season, I think, by far, that one.
What, you storming off because somebody else scored?
Exactly. Who wouldn't?
In all ways. Benji saying my best one was game week 10 bench boost, bringing in Guehi and Mateta for their hauls, getting me 104 points and a 200 rank wise that started me to get to the top 10k.
That's good.
I mean, I'll say very nice. I'll say my best one, best moment was game week 38 and finishing in the top 100k when I'd only been in there briefly. Best decision to copy Trig after game week 32.
Christ.
No, seriously. Well, it was the wildcard in game week 32 because that really did get us up the. It didn't go perfectly, did it, Trig? But it certainly got us in the end. I think.
Listen to them. Got us. I was
actually copying you, though. I was copying you, Gary.
It's like the Spice Girls. Tonight is the night when two become one.
Well, I was copying Gary because I took the lead.
You like I've never needed review before.
Wait, careful with the copyright. That's so.
I don't think YouTube is going to compare my voice to the Spice Girls. Strangely enough.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't copy anyone, did we, Trig? We came to.
Well, I was copying you a little. Well, I wasn't copying you, but I wanted to keep my team fairly similar because I overtook you and wanted to win the mini league. So I was kind of covering. I was expecting you to do something different to try and catch up, but you never did. You just let me.
I was more concerned about the 100k than I was catching you, Trig. But anyway, let's reverse it. And I'm going to come to Trig with this one first because I'm pretty sure he's going to know the answer straight away to this one. What was your worst FPL moment or decision of the season, Trig?
There's been so many. I think it was game week 3.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to say.
I got Wirtz at the start of the season, and I gave him 2 weeks. I think he was injured in game week 3, so I took him out. And then game week 4, they were home to Burnley, and I had the choice of bringing him back in or getting Semenyo, which everyone else nearly did. And I, like an idiot, I went and got Wirtz back in. And that decision probably cost me 2k rather than 20k if I'd done that, because it was absolutely brutal what followed for the next 4 or 5 weeks. And Semenyo just destroyed me. And I held my guns, though. I didn't get him. And that actually did help me afterwards because he went quiet. He went very quiet and everyone had him and I didn't. So I kind of got some of those points back. But at the time, it was shocking. As for Virgil van Dijk, I can't even talk about him. He just gives me PTSD.
Do you remember that?
I remember all that first half. Remember all the stick I took in the first half of the season for having him in my team? It's like, why has Trig got Virgil? Why has Trig got Virgil? Week after week at 2 pointers. Finally get rid of him and he gets like 20 points or something the very week I sell him. And like ever since he's been getting loads of points. And It's like he treated me very badly. I was so loyal to him, and then he treated me like that. He's another one who doesn't love you back. So
this game does not love you back.
No.
Do you remember when we did the lock-in when Semenyo had scored a hat trick? You were fuming. I think you almost gave in doing the lock-in then because I called it Trig doesn't own Semenyo, didn't I? And you were like,
I found doing the lock-in very difficult when I was having bad game weeks. It is difficult. When I'm having bad game weeks, I just want to go and hide and forget about FPL.
Yeah. Darius, you probably didn't have one, did you? There was no worse decision from yourself.
No, actually, I've got two. I feel like there's. I don't know. I feel like my worst has probably been unlucky more than anything else. But when I was doing my video the other day, the worst decision I made was listening to Nightmare when I was on wildcard in game week 6 because somehow instead of ending up on double Arsenal defense and I would have had multiple defensive returns, I went on double Newcastle defense, and I think that decision alone in game week 6 on wildcard, I worked out the points difference, and it was north of at least 60 points over the time I owned the double Newcastle defense. That is by far and away the worst FPL decision I made this season by some distance, going from double Forest defense to double Newcastle defense to double Liverpool defense and getting 3 clean sheets over the first 25 game weeks of the season. That's literally the worst decision by some distance.
The D-Unit curse, we called it, didn't we, on the lock-in?
Oh, it was. It was bad.
How about yourself, Andrew?
Well, obviously, my worst decision was influencing Darius all the way down to a 1 million rank because the bloke's unlucky. He takes no responsibility. I actually don't think that Newcastle call was a bad one. They'd kept 5 clean sheets in 7 matches. Of course, you're going to jump on a defence like that. All you can do is go on the data. Nobody could have anticipated such a drastic drop-off after, I think it was after Fabian Schär got injured, but certainly Livramento, when he got injured, that's when it all dropped off. But you can't know these things in hindsight. You can't know them in foresight, only in hindsight. It's like, for me, my worst FPL moment or decision, it would be easy for me to say the Anthony Gordon captaincy.
Captain, yeah.
But I don't think it was, because I still think it was a good decision. I think Liverpool, I called them out before that match. I said, they just conceded twice to Bournemouth, and they were there to be got. They've been there to be got all season, and they've shown that by finishing, 5th. They've been terrible all season, and they've struggled with the pacey wingers. So I don't actually think it was a bad call. I think it just one of them. Sometimes this stuff happens, but I do think, you could say the big hits, you've taken so many big hits. I don't think they were mistakes either at the time, because, I managed to get up an awful lot in the ranks after those hits. My biggest mistakes have been my wild cards. The first one, I had the Gordon red card, I had Palmer and Saka get injured, and I wild carded. What I should have done there is just taken a -8 or a -12 and just, dealt with dropping even further. I think the hard thing was that I was already 9.8 million, and then a -12 would have been like, 11 million or something. It would have been hard. But in hindsight, I think that set the tone for the season. Wildcarding early left me scrambling. It meant I had to take 24 points of hits in 3 game weeks around game week 10. It meant that I was always trying to catch up. And then the second one, I should have just waited. I went in game week 27, tried to get the advantage before everybody else ended up on the same team in game week 32. And then, the FA Cup all went tits up, and you needed the wild card to get the players that actually had the doubles, because there was no, the teams you thought were going to be there weren't. So, them 2 wild cards, that second wild card, like your wild card out double Palace defense, and then they go and get 25 points between them. It's like, it was crushing. That was the game week that I did me big shed rant before this one, and after that the season was done for me. And it was so. Yeah, my wild cards were the worst moments, and the worst decisions were when I played my wild cards. The worst moment was that Henderson penalty save to keep the clean sheet for the double Palace defence the week I sold them. After weeks of getting nothing off them, it was.
Yeah. Bring out a couple of worst moments from the chat here. China saying Sanchez red card, season over after week 5.
Well, I had him for that red card.
Did, yeah.
It wasn't season over though, just someone getting sent off.
I like to Paul there. I don't know if Rob's saying this about you, Darius himself, Dallo captain. Simon is saying worst moment was Gary pronounced DCL's name correctly and the realization the Pubcast cartel had coached him. DCL unit, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course. What was it I called him? Llewellyn. DCL ever since that episode. That was you pointing out, mate. FPL have a point saying his best moment was Palmer 114 points and Salah 123 points. Get that one.
Well, the fact that they only scored that many points.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for me, there was plenty of bad decisions, but none that stands out. My worst moment was, do you remember the day I went out with Steve-O in early January and then I came on to do the lock-in and Rice and Gabriel had both absolutely scored massively. It was like maybe in the first Saturday in January and I had to go on and do the lock-in with Darius and Trig and or Kanji and you all owned him. And I think I'd gone from 100,000 to like 300,000. And that was a pretty horrible moment. But we got through it.
I actually think your worst decision, Gary, was wearing that vest tonight.
Sports bra. Let's move on to our next one. Your favourite FPL player of the season for your FPL team. So just to make that clear, not the best FPL player, the best FPL player for your team. I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to say Dirty Dom. Dominic Szoboszlai. A lot of it because of the backwards and forwards me and Darius and Candy have had about him, you know what I mean? But he's done really well. He's done really well with free kick, getting the DCs and that. It's just, when you leave the season, there's a special player. He probably wasn't my best player, but he was my favourite player of this season. Darius, I'm going to come to you because I feel you're the most likely to have someone straight to mind.
Mine's between two players. I'm not sure which one I actually preferred more because it ended up being that Jared Bowen was. I pretty much owned Jared Bowen almost all season, and he's ended up as a second top scoring forward in the game at the end of the season. And I've owned it for a lot of those monster hauls. But I also owned Harry Bloody Wilson for all his hauls, and I sold him when he started blanking. So, I feel like pound for pound, Harry Bloody Wilson probably wins it, but it's not by much. Both of them were fabulous for my team.
Didn't you bench Bowen for a lot of those hauls?
Nah, the big ones, I actually had him for all the big ones. It was the ones where he got 9 points at the beginning of the season where he was on the bench. But Harry Wilson, he just was a star in general. When I bought him in that first week, 16 points, and he carried on like he started, just kept on hauling points for me.
If I had to say one for your team, it would be Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the few things you actually got right this season. You were on him early and you were hyping him up every week, and then you got rid at the right time. I know you're on about 50 players a week, so one of them has to come good at some point. But you were quite hot on him, like.
I was very hot on Salah not being good as well, and he was obviously bad. But there might be another question about that.
And who's your favourite player?
My favourite was probably Bruno Guimaraes because, for one, I feel like he was very under-owned during his hot spell. I feel like not a lot of people actually went there. He played for Newcastle, and I didn't get as many points from him as you might have thought because it took me a while to actually get him in my team. But he was getting points from corners, late penalties, scoring corners, late penalties, late goals. He was just a titan, even the last couple of weeks, he's getting DEFCONs when he's doing nothing. And it's always special when it's your own player from your own team, and he was Newcastle's only bright spark this season, really, until the last few weeks of the season. So for me, it's Bruno Guimaraes. But I do want to give a special mention to James Garner, because for about 4 weeks, I actually went all in on the DEFCONs before my game week 27 wild card. And it was just so much fun owning this Garner. And like, actually, that few weeks, I really appreciated the DEFCONs quite a lot, because he was just, you were seeing people get 2 points, and then there's gorgeous Garner just sneaking in at the end with a 4-pointer, a cheeky assist from a corner. And it was like, this is what they want the game to be all about. And if I just embrace that, I'll have a lot of fun. And then, you know, I wild-carded into a load of nonsense with like Anthony Gordon and Morgan Rogers and all this. And if I'd have just kept Garner, he was the connoisseur's Elliot Anderson, and he'll be the first name on my team sheet next season. He ended
up quite high, didn't he, in the overall midfield?
Yeah, 7 or 8, I think. He did really well.
Impressive, yeah. Craig, I saw you were thinking about this one quite deeply, mate. Who's your favourite?
I think it's Thiago. I've decided it's Thiago.
Oh, Thiago, that's fair.
I mean, I paid 6 million for him, and I just kept him. And do you remember there was a pivotal point in the season where nearly everybody went and got rid of him and got Ekitike?
Ekitike, yeah.
And like, I was feeling quite vulnerable because of the ownership, etc., with Ekitike, but I didn't go there. And then Ekitike got injured, and then everyone had to come back and buy Thiago again, and they had to pay about 7 odd million for him, and I paid 6 million. So I just kept him for like all the way up until the wild card, that horrible wild card in game week 32, where we had to get rid of all our lovely Elliot Andersons and Thiagos. We all kicked them out, and regretted it ever since, really, all for that bench boost. But yeah, Thiago, I'll say. I think I had him for about 32 weeks, and he was pretty good. I think he was picked by Bowen in the end, wasn't he? But I think Bowen ended up getting more points than him. Yeah, Bowen was quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago only got the 1 goal after game week 32, so it wasn't actually the worst call. Yeah, just in game week 32, he scored twice, and that's when everyone sold him. But after that, he didn't out.
Let's read through a couple of the chats. Zyke was saying Pedro, and also Raya for getting a 10-pointer. Benji saying Kelleher owned him all season, second highest goal scoring keeper, or Guehi. FPL Point saying Forest of Anderson's Forest will improve. FPL Gov saying Dewsbury Hall. Prodigy, I think, saying Hall. Matthias Garner. Dorgu Tectonic is saying when he was scoring was my favourite FPL player. Paul saying Morgan Gibbs White. Kleiner's saying Thiago. Matthias saying Verbruggen. Quite a bit of variance in there. So let's move on to our next question. The opposite, your least favourite FPL player of the season for your FPL team / who hurt your rank most. I'm going to guess what Trig's going to say here. Semenyo, bloody Semenyo. I owned him for more than Trig did. But when he went to Man City and I sold him, every time he got a goal, it was 100,000 rank drop. And I owned him for quite a bit of the season, but he is definitely the player. Prior to changing my team name to the FPL Pubcast, I would always name my team I hate the player who hurt me the most the season before. And my team name, if I was to do it next season, would definitely be I hate Semenyo. Andrew, who would be your...
I think my worst player of the season, well, the one that like did my head in the most. It's a strange one, but David Raya, absolutely, really? Because I've had about 8 goalkeepers this season, and I only got Raya in at like game week 35. And if I'd just got him in game week 1, so often this season, most of this season, I've only had one Arsenal defender, except for when I had Timber as well, and Raya was outscoring Timber every week. And most of the time, my Arsenal clean sheets have meant absolutely nothing because of Raya. And then I've wasted so many transfers on goalkeeper transfers and lost so many points on changing goalkeepers. And if I'd have just gotten that idiot in at the start of the season, it would have been absolutely fine. And when I think about my mistakes this season, that is one that really sticks with me. All the goalkeeper carry on, just stupid. Like Nick Pope, I have fumbled the ball when it comes to the goalkeepers, and then I've come charging out of my area and rugby tackled the striker. Beyond that, I could say Morgan Rogers was hideous, absolutely hideous. I hated owning him, and it's absolutely done my head in, because this is something I need to think about next season when I become, Andy Solio fully and wholeheartedly. It's like Elliot Anderson and Morgan Rogers ended up with just about the same points. I think there was 1 point in it, but every week, emotionally, Morgan Rogers is pissing you off until you bench him, and then he gets the points because you bench him against the best teams, and that's when he gets the points. Elliot Anderson, you just play him. You never get that huge high, but every week is a positive impact on your emotions because he's getting something. And it's all, you'll look at any other team and they who doesn't have him, and there'll be a player in there that you'll think, oh, if he'd have had Elliot Anderson, he'd be happier now. So Morgan Rogers there. But to be honest, when you talk about who hurt my rank the most, it is Anthony Gordon, because of that not just because of that red card in game week 2, but because of it was the catalyst for the entire season. It led to the wild card, it led to the huge hits, it led to the overly risky, overly aggressive play. It led to all sorts of problems, and it all can be traced back to that Anthony Gordon thing, perhaps even because people enjoyed that I took the risk, and that made me take more risks to try and entertain people and kind of prove it could be done and fail miserably. That is something I need to reflect on. Have I been influenced too much by people enjoying the disaster? And do I need to, this is what I need to think about. So, yeah, I think Anthony Gordon, but I did get him in, and I did captain him that week when he outscored every other major captain. And, he did kind of redeem himself a bit. But, yeah, he is the catalyst for everything. But, yeah, David Raya, the cursed Raya.
Darius, my friend, who's your worst player of the season?
Binderson, how the hell he's got 123 points is still criminal. That just sums up everything that was wrong with it.
The worst player for your team.
For your team.
He just stunk it up. For my team, it's got to be Mateus Cunha. That dude was a troll all season long. Every time I bought him, he was crap.
Fair.
I bought him in game week 3, and instead of captaining Haaland when I bought Haaland in, I bought in Mateus Cunha and captained him because he looked good the week before, and he got the 1 pointer, got injured, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then the next time I bought him in, he obviously then got himself, what was it? That was when he had that issue that he missed training. Carrick wasn't truthful, so that I missed out on points that week. Whereas if I had sold him when the rumors were there for Casemiro that week, I would have got Casemiro's 12 points, but then he was non-committal the week before. So then the week after, Carrick just so vague. So what do? I sold him for Casemiro. Guess what? Cunha played, scored, and then he scored again the week after. I mean, the dude literally trolled my team the entire season.
Yeah, I didn't have a great experience.
That game week 3 injury was so frustrating because it was like I was on wildcard and I brought him in that week, and I did the same. I captained him, and it's like I could have had Fernandez who got 10 points. I could have had Mbumo who got 10 points, and instead I went for Cunha who got 1 point, and it felt harsh. That felt like a harsh outcome that week for something that was so marginal, and
it did.
Trig. I'm gonna have a guess that it may be Semenyo for you, mate.
Well, objectively, it would be, but he's not the one that's hurt me the most. It's definitely Virgil that's upset me the most.
Okay.
Waiting half a season for a bullet header that never arrived, selling him, and he's getting them every other game since I sold him. Yeah. And every time I see it, it's like a dagger going through me. Whereas Semenyo, I'm past caring about that prick. But Virgil, no, it's got to be him. I can't think of anybody else really. Objectively as well, the Arsenal defence probably. That was quite annoying. All the algorithm people stuck there with their Rayers and everything, and the double Arsenal defence doing well every week. That was annoying. But you know,
I have taken to calling them the outsourcers. I think the outsourcers is the name for them. And I will be joining them next season when I be fully fledged Andy Solio.
On the keepers, I've never paid for a premium keeper, but this season I think nightmares, right? Really, I mean, it would have been because money hasn't been important this season, so it's been easy for people to just buy Raya, hasn't it? And he's come close to the highest ever. I think he got over 160, didn't he? But unlike Andrew, I never change a keeper. Like I had Sanchez, I just stuck with a prick, and he didn't get. I probably got about 130, 140 points from my keepers, but at least they were cheap. But Ray is just annoying. Timber as well hurt me earlier on.
Oh, I couldn't stand Timber being in my team. He was a troll.
Timber was the most overrated asset of the season. Everyone was going on about how he's this elite attacking force. If you take off that 23-pointer against Leeds, he was bang average. Even when he got injured, he was bang average. And, he was getting outscored by Raya every week towards the end. He was just all foreplay, no fucking from Julian Timber.
So before we move on, just read through some of the chat's worst ones. Dan saying DCL. Tectonic saying Enzo during Chelsea's easy fixtures. Actually, mate, that could have been mine, to be honest. Joe saying Gabriel treble captain. Joe just saying Semenyo. Trying to saying Rogers. Anderson, a second vote there from FPL Other Pint. Benji saying Verts. Palmer. P. Jetta saying Gravy Dave saying, have you been working out with Steve-O, Gary? No, I've not worked out in bloody 7 years, mate. But there may still be a little bit of residue muscle there. Another Semenyo, Cunha, Mateta. Okay. All right,
Enzo Fernandez, I never owned him, but Enzo Fernandez seemed to be one that caused a lot of grief for people as well. Because he'd be constantly getting the XG and doing note.
And the good thing was I bought Palmer instead.
Timber.
That was when I got Palmer in, wasn't it? And he got all those penalties in the game, and it was a massive swing. That's what got me to 20k. Actually, was Palmer.
That was a big difference between me and you, Trig. I think that's 50 points.
That's probably your biggest mistake, because I told you not to get Enzo in, but you wouldn't listen.
Probably. But I copy you every week. Trig. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is no, I'm not going to use this one to go to the toilet. I'm going to use the next one because I think that's where we'll go on. Oh no, actually, this is the one where I may have to discount. I think this one may go on for a while. What have you learned from? No, it's the next one. What have you learned from FPL this season, and will you change the way you play? The next question is, what should FPL change? So I'd ask you to keep this to the personal thoughts at the moment. Andrew, you've got notes, mate, so I'm going to come to you because it's a bit of an in-depth one. What have you learned, and what will you be changing? Well, you mentioned Solly already.
Yes, like I said, next season, I am Andy Solio from game week 1 until game week 38. As long as Jorgen gives me that 3 years subscription that I'm going to hit him up for, I am going to take the Trout approach next season and see where it gets me. But in all seriousness, I have actually learned a lot this season. I think it could be the most important season of my FPL career because for the last few years, I've played the game a lot more sensibly than I did this season. I've played the game, what you could say, properly. Like before this season, I think if Nick Trigg looked at when I finished top 10k, if you looked at the last couple of years, he would actually say you've played it properly here. Why have you gone with this approach this season? And it's because I had to know. I just had to know if I could be successful doing it this instinctive way, doing it this kind of aggressive way. And it just hasn't worked. And, all season, like one thing that I've got phlegm in the back of my throat. What's going on? One thing that has stuck with me this season was early on, the best advice came from Trig. And he said, Don't sell good players for other good players without a very good reason. And I feel like that has proven itself correct time after time after time this season. You look at the Thiago to Ekitike transfer everyone made, went wrong. What reason to sell Thiago? There was none when you look back. The Semenyo and Shirky Hokey Cokey all gone tits up, you know, and like this is repeated. You could look at different examples all throughout the season. Patience is the reward in the Southerns era, the Mark Southerns era of FPL. It's about patience. It's about consistency. It's about playing like boring Man City when they just passed the ball around 100 times without ever taking shots. That's what you've got to do well in FPL now. Don't take any shots. Don't risk that killer pass. Just pass it around until everybody else gets tired and falls down. That is what the game wants from us nowadays. And I will, this is what I'm going to have to do next season because, quite frankly, it's fun. It's entertaining, and I might lose some of my audience if I play boring. And I'm prepared to risk it because I'm not in the game to be, the court jester. I want to be the best in the world. I want to win this game, and I'm not going to win it playing the way I am. And I know Darius will say, and people say, you've got to take risks in this game, but it's about timing the risks. You can be like a headless chicken, or you can be a viper, slithering around, just sizing up the opponent and then striking just at the right time. That's how you take the risks in this game, and that's how I've not been taking them. And I want to be the best, and if it means I lose all my subscribers in the chase for glory, then so be it. Because I actually think I actually trust my audience to go with me on the journey. I'll lose some of them. I had some bloke in me comment the other day saying, "Oh, nightmare! You're not in outer space anymore with images flashing up all over the screen and all this." So I'm going to unsubscribe from you. And I'm thinking I've done about 80 videos since I last did one of them. But I also think, why are you leaving a comment telling me that you're unsubscribing there? Like, I'm not really asked if you don't want to follow us. But also, if
someone goes to that effort, they're probably not going to unsubscribe. I'd say, because why would they bother telling you if they were that casual? Watching,
I would suspect he was trying to get me to go back to the last style, but it's just not interesting. It's for me, it's 20 hours of editing a video. I'd rather spend 2 hours making 3 videos that are more interesting, more enjoyable. So the captaincy, like Trig said. Captaincy is king in this game. And next season, there are only 2 players. All you need next season, you need one good goalkeeper, David Raya. You need 7 or 8 DEFCON daddies in defence and midfield. And then you need Haaland and Bruno Fernandes. And you just captain whichever one of them plays at home each week. That is a very simple strategy that will probably see you top 200k without any effort at all. And that is going to be my starting point. I am going to risk my audience. I'm going to risk Darius's respect. I am going to risk it all to become the best. And that's what you need to do sometimes. Like Hulk Hogan, when he joined the NWO, I will turn to the dark side and become Andy Solio in the quest to be the best.
And King Kong Bundy will beat her. Right, I'm going to say, just because you said that, I'm just going to say mine, right? I've not learned a lot from this season, but I will say I have learned from Trig about the effective ownership of the captains. I think that is, and you made a big point of it, Trig, in your video the other day about the top of the polls. I've always sort of gone that way a little bit, but I'm pretty much sticking to that. I think that's my biggest learning from the season. But Trig, what's your biggest learnings, if there were any?
Yeah, it's difficult because you can learn the wrong lessons if you're not careful. That's the problem. Because every season is different than the one before. I mean, you've got Andrew there saying he's going to captain Haaland and Bruno. But if he'd been here this time last year, he'd have been saying he was going to captain Salah and Palmer. So,
last year, I said I think Bruno Fernandes is going to be the best player this season. I think Bruno Fernandes will be top. you know. But I also said I thought Amad Diallo would get 170 points, and like, what's happened to him this season, you know?
Bruno's actually been the top player even by points per million, so he's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't he? But yeah, one lesson I think I have learned finally now is not to start game week 1 with any player new to the Premier League. I mean, 2 years ago, we all got Nkunku in. I mean, I got him because he was Chelsea and I watched all their pre-season and he looked fantastic and everything. So I got him in. Most people did, got Nkunku. Absolutely rubbish once the season started. And then what?
He's underpriced. That's what everyone said, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think he was only 6 million or something, wasn't he? Yeah. Then we all went and repeated the mistake last year by getting Wirtz. And enough's enough, you know. I mean, admittedly, Wirtz had a sparkling kind of reputation and international career and everything. But it just shows, you know, we've got Palace are going to win tonight probably. Villa won the Europa. Arsenal could win the Champions League. It's not easy for players to come to the Premier League. Yeah, that's on tonight.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I'm not going to repeat that mistake. Someone said in my chat that Ekitike was brilliant and I'm talking rubbish. But why take the risk? Why take the risk game week 1? If they do turn out to be brilliant, you can get them in after 2 or 3 weeks. But starting with them, I don't want to start with anyone that's doing anything different and they've already shown they can do. You know what I mean? Even the likes of Senesi, for example, if he goes to Tottenham, for me, that would be a wait and see rather than start him in game week 1. Because I just want players that I can put in, plug and play, and not have to worry about kicking them out in 2 weeks because they've turned out to be different than you think they're going to be. So that's one thing I will change. No players from out of the league. You know, guaranteed Chelsea are going to buy somebody. With a new manager, they're going to get someone in really good from a World Cup who's done well at the World Cup, and the temptation is going to be there to put them in. So it's going to be hard to resist. But that's my thing I've learned this season, I think, and that's about all I've learned.
Apart from Haaland, it's difficult to think of many that have come in and just hit the ground running, isn't it? But
Papi Cisse. Papi Cisse came in January. He got 12 goals in 12 games and he was scoring screamers all over the shop.
That was 2011.
Yeah, but it's still an easy example.
And you can always wait till game week 3 to get them in, can't you, if they do turn? And at least you know which one is the good one then. So, yeah, it's very risky. I think the gap between the Premier League and the rest is now huge.
Yeah, huge. Darius, you're the one I'm most interested to hear, mate. What have you learned and will you be changing the way you play, mate?
No interest in changing the way I play. The only thing I'd say is that probably the one thing I will change is next season I'm just going to go triple Arsenal defense game week 1 and just roll them out every week. But it seems, I mean, they've won the most clean sheets by some distance, and then realistically, it's triple Arsenal defense, a couple of DC blokes, so that way I don't have to touch my defense for the rest of the season. I can just transfer in the forwards and that, which would seem like a pretty good option. If the DC stays the way it is, it doesn't make any sense to do anything else other than just focus on those attacking players and just leave the same defenders in, which is going to be really damn boring, but at least I'll be able to go for some really differential punts in the forward line and midfield and hope that I can get on some heaters.
Good luck affording the Arsenal defence, because it might not be as easy as we think. I mean, I don't know what price Gabriella coming at, but if he's below 7.5 million, then it's he's been mispriced.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I sit there and I'm like going, if they don't fix the pricing structure, it's going to be it's going to be almost an even more boring season than this season, because everyone's going to have worked out by now that, and this is why I don't like the DC, is because we're picking boring players because you can almost predict that they're going to get 4 points most weeks, and that just feels very mad. Where it's this season in particular, it's been very hard to predict attacking returns in general, and that's been half the issue with the game.
I don't know. We're talking about that later, aren't we?
We're literally about to move on to that. Let me just read out for a few comments, and I'll hand over to you, Darius, because I think the next point. So Benji saying, I learned patience and adapted quickly to the DEFCON system. Trying to say he learned to listen to Trig. Very wise man. Benji is saying played like a viper and got lucky, but key was Zendance. China saying captain top of the polls, even into Hippie there. Who else have we got? Jojo saying I need to be more patient with my players, less knee jerky. PJ saying next season could be weird with the Prem, all new managers, and there aren't many teams we can be sure about. Rob saying also might be worth avoiding going players who go late in the World Cup. Jojo saying always get players that are guaranteed 90 minutes. Hi to Punk. I'm not going to ask the lads that question because we've got tons to get through, mate. Maybe later in the end of the stream. 44451 FPL points saying, okay, let's move on. And at this point, I am going to go to the toilet because I believe this one could go on for a while. What changes would you like to see made to FPL next season? Darius, I've never heard your opinion on DEFCONs, my friend. But I'll come to you with this one, mate. And I will quickly go to the toilet whilst this section goes on.
So for me, it's pretty simple. The double chips were painfully boring. I think they need to either bin them off and go back to the original version, which was just one lot of chips, because or be creative and actually introduce some chips that are actually interesting. That I mean, they've got FPL Challenge. Maybe use what they do there. Otherwise, what's the point of having FPL Challenge if you aren't ever going to use it? For me, that makes a lot of sense. The DC needs either complete restructuring in terms of if you get 10, maybe it's just 1 point. That way we're not rewarding crap defenses. Or if teams are conceding multiple goals like 3, they should just be inept from actually getting DC, because why are we rewarding crap defenders that can't actually defend and then just disregarding? I mean, my biggest criticism is how the Binderson ended up on 123 points. He literally kept like 7 clean sheets all season, got no attacking returns. How is that guy outscoring so many forwards in that when he's just horrendously bad? Like he actively was not a very good player this season. Also, yeah, I mean, one of the things that Gary cut me off on before is I will not be triple captaining a Man City player next season. Every time I triple captain a Man City player, they do absolutely diddly squat. So that was one of my big lessons. And I'm going to go back to, you know what, Bruno Fernandes, I've never had an unsuccessful triple captain with that man. Good chance that if he's still in the league next year, he goes there. But yeah, DC, piss it off. Unless you can actually sit there and count it, it shouldn't be in the game. And we shouldn't be like, that's why the World Cup fantasy, I know that you mentioned this in your video this morning, Trig, or was it yesterday? I can't remember when I watched it, but I watched it. You can see when someone's making a tackle. I've got no issue with that. Some of the other rubbish, though, like clearances, blocks, that you don't know if they count because you don't know if they're in the box or if they're close enough or how far they've kicked the ball away. Like that just, it's too vague. It's either the definition needs to change. If they get their body in the way, that counts as a block. That way people can actually see it. If it's not like blocking a shot or cross, whatever it is, they have to actually come out and say what it is, because at the moment it's just all guesswork, and I don't like guesswork. If you're sitting there watching a game of football, you should be able to see when you're getting points, and everything that's wrong about DC is you can't see whether you're getting a count towards the 10 or not, and that's big problem.
So you're a fan of them then?
No, I'm not a fan of them. They get pissed off.
Just to make the point, I'm sure you said like Anderson outscoring all these strikers and whatnot. Anderson was the 24th best defender this season. There were 23 defenders better than him. And the strikers he beat were the likes of Igor Jesus, Evan Nilsson and Richarlison. Like, you have completely blown up Anderson in your head, who was mainly a bench player for most people, and you've become obsessed with the man. I'm surprised he's not got a restraining order out on you yet. You know, people haven't even had him for the last 10 game weeks, and you're still there raging about him.
He's also the player that hurt his team the most, despite the fact he never didn't. I mean, whatever. I got that wrong. Andrew, what would you like to see change, if anything?
Well, the thing I have been I'm not going to reiterate. Like, I made a video a few weeks back where I went into all this sort of stuff in a lot more detail. So I'm not going to go over old ground. Substitutions and one captaincy change. That is the main thing I would bring into this game. Allow substitutions, allow the captaincy change. You instantly eradicate the power of the team leagues because you can just you can bench the players, you can sub them out. You don't feel cheated. Like, people, it is a divisive one, but I would say the people that think they won't like it actually would like it a lot more than they realise. So that's what I would do. Harder pricing. I feel like the pricing for years has been too easy. Like, it was a couple of years back, you could get Saka, Son, Salah, Palmer, and Haaland in your team in the same team, and it's like every year it does this. Every year they want people to have all the best players, so they all love playing, and it just removes the challenge from the game. As a starting point, I would add £1 million to every single player, apart from the newly promoted teams. I would have every defender starting on 5 million, apart from the newly promoted teams. I would make it hard. I would make people have to look for the best players from the worst teams and have to make choices. But other than that, I would actually be quite happy if there was no major changes. Like, I'm not the keenest on the DEFCONs this season. Next season, I feel the DEFCONs will be my best friend as me and Solio rise to the top. But I would actually just like them. They've made this massive change with the DEFCONs. Like, no more changes. Let people adapt to the season that has happened. Let people take in the information from this massive fundamental change to the way the game is played, and let people have a season like playing under the new way with experience. If they come in and they make some massive rule change, even substitutions that I want, like, it kind of removes it makes this season a bit pointless because you've learned nothing. Like, if you're going to make a big change, and then wait a couple of years before the next one so people can get used to it, have a bad season, learn from it, and adapt and have a good season afterwards. So for me, harder pricing, no changes. Apart from substitutions, I'd allow that, but I would happily wait a year for that.
I tend to agree, just to get my point in. Let's Talk FBI Andy did a big poll on X about DEFCONs. Like 100,000 odd people viewed it. 70% wanted to keep it, right? And exactly the same. I'm if you make a change, just stick to what you're doing. You know what I mean? They're taking the flak for it. They are popular. If they go next season, there'll be more people complaining about them having gone than in. But Trig, I'll come to you, mate. What changes, if any?
Yeah, definitely the pricing needs to be a lot tighter. I mean, the advantage, you need to have tight pricing to counteract the models, because currently there's no incentive to make an early transfer. It's like, early transfers are good because there should be a cost for people sitting there until Saturday just waiting for team leaks and what the solvers are saying. There should be a cost for that in lower team value. And there is, but it's not enough. It's not enough because it used to be that you had to make early transfers if you wanted to stay competitive, because you had a very tight budget, so you had to make early transfers just to get the team value to afford good players. But now it's just too easy. I haven't made a hit all season because I haven't felt I needed to, because the pricing has been so generous and everything, and the DEFCONs have meant you don't need to make transfers, and so they need to do something with the transfer thing. And I saw the World Cup rules yesterday, and they've got 3 points for a hit, and I think 3 points for a hit instead of 4 would be absolutely fantastic. It would encourage people to make more transfers, which would be a good thing. It would mean people would be more prone to make a few short-term moves for exciting players. And I don't see any negatives in reducing it to 3, because since we've had the ability to save up all these transfers and we've got these DEFCON players, it's now too easy to just sit on your hands and not make any transfers. There's no incentive for people to make transfers anymore. So reducing the price of a hit, I think, could only be good. I don't see any point in keeping it at 4. Why not
You're
change
gonna
it to 3?
-2. If you're going to make a change, do you know what I mean?
All the way to 2 is a bit radical, I think.
Yeah,
you're being radical, Trig. You're being radical.
You can go to 3 and then see how it goes.
What I like about -3 is that it's the price of an assist. So basically, any player can get an assist and cover the hit. When it's 4 points, you can get an attack in return and still need extra points from elsewhere to cover a hit, and that feels a bit unbalanced. Whereas 3 points, the other thing you could do is make assists worth 4 points and make goals worth more points, and then that would also counteract it in the same way. But to go back to this, I actually think the other thing is the 5 transfers makes it far too easy this game as well. I would roll that back to 2 transfers because I think it forces people to have to use them or lose them. Like my old rugby coach, Peter Kremer, it would be rucking and would be fighting and would be scrambling it. Use it or lose it. Use it or lose it. And then people make transfers because they have to, and it makes the game more exciting and more fluid. Because people think, right, I've got to use a transfer, and then I'm going to have to use another transfer in 2 weeks. So I'll get in Harry Wilson for 2 weeks. I'll get in Phil Foden for 2 weeks. Whereas now it's just like, well, what's the point? I'll just keep Semenyo for the next 10 weeks. And, maybe he'll get the points, maybe he won't. But it won't matter because nobody else is making the transfers. I think the combination of 5 transfers and DEFCONs makes the game a lot easier for the models. And I think it's just, I wouldn't... Maybe I will say 3 transfers. If you rolled it back to 3 transfers,
yeah, 3 or 4.
I think 5 is just a bit much. I think you need to force the market to be active, like Trig says. You need that kind of risk reward thing because it's exciting when you think there's like a player you can't afford him, but you need him. You need him in your team, but he's got a match in Europe. Are you going to wait and risk being priced out, or are you going to bring him in early and hope he doesn't get injured? Those are the sort of dilemmas we need. We don't have them now because it's too easy.
The pricing is key, I think. The pricing is key. And that's the way to stop the solvers, to punish people for waiting until Saturday before making their transfers. I mean, this is why Andy and that have done so well this year, because they can just sit there all week, not make a transfer, get their leaks, get their review in the last hour and everything, and it's not costing them anything, is it? That's why Darius isn't doing well. He had a 2 or 3 million advantage in team value on us this season, and he said he was going to catch us up, but he couldn't because it didn't matter. Having the expensive players was actually a curse this season. If you've got 5 million in the bank, you're going to spend it, and you're going to spend it on someone like Palmer or someone who hasn't been getting points instead of getting a Garner in who's been getting more points. But they really need to price up the DEFCON players properly as well next season. Because if you've got them, the trouble is that there are going to be more emerge that they've got no idea are currently going to be DEFCON monsters next season. So how they're going to play that, I just do not know. I think there's going to, it's very difficult unless you do what Andrew says and put all defenders at 5 million from the start, so that we don't have those 4 million defenders that can turn into DEFCON monsters.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you look at James Hill, and he's like 4 million, but if James Hill gets into the game, he's replacing a 5 million defender, so it should be priced at 5 million just in case of that eventuality. I think, but I mean, fair enough. You maybe lose the kind of 4 million defenders that we sometimes need, but like Hull are coming up, just price all their defenders at 4 million. This is what I mean. Like the promoted teams should be the only ones who are rated so lowly. Everybody else.
But look at Sunderland defenders though. They were very good as well. You just stick them in and you get points, loads of points. Leeds defenders, they were good as well. So they're 4 million. So with DEFCONs, it doesn't really help. Some of those promoted ones can be quite good, can't they?
Lads, I want to move on to the next point. I'll just read out for you from the chat. Better chips. Will they lower the amount of chances we can roll up to? Don't know. Joe's saying none. I hate the change. Dan saying triple DEFCON chip. That's pretty good. What else we got? Brett and Bruno more. That might be into the last point. Assuming they keep this season, revise the points to defenders. midfielders and attackers. Simon saying there. Tectonic is saying your favourite, Darius, which I don't know if you came out with, bring back the assmanship.
I didn't think about that. That's a good one.
Your favorite, that was your favorite earlier in the season, wasn't it? Hippie saying Pubcast should be sponsored by Tina. Who's Tina? Tena. I don't know who that is, mate. Who else we got?
Is it tenor, as in tenor pads, because of all the bedwetting?
Andrew, I thought your wife had got you some assistance for that, but
well, no. When you reach my age, you've got to reach under the balls and give it a little push up to get that last few drops out, so they don't spill down your boxer shorts.
Zyke was saying shots on targets for strikers, which I don't know. Darius is very keen on. We've got Shane there. Hi, Shane, mate. I'm very upset to hear, Shane, you're not going to be part of the Traitors game that's upcoming. We've got so many comments here. I can't go over the rest of them. Punk saying, it's too easy to pick DEFCON defenders. Agree pricing needs sorted out. And many other comments. They're coming in very thick and fast, lads. Right, let's move on to the next question. So these are a little bit more specific to YouTube, but, a bit of fun at the end of the season review. What was your favourite moment creating FPL content this season? This, Darius, was the one where I thought he's gonna definitely say Dirty Dom's Miss Penoy.
What week was that?
I don't know. It's about
game week
February?
17 or something.
No, I think it was later than that.
No,
it was quite recently.
Well, it wasn't recent. I think it was about Jan Fab.
18, game week 18 against Wolves.
No, he didn't play that.
Oh, that's why you got sent off against Spurs, wasn't it?
Well, anyway, Darius, what is your favourite moment?
It was game week 22 against Burnley. Against Burnley.
That's right. That's right. Game week 22. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that your favourite memory?
About it. That is unbelievable.
I feel like that actually isn't my favourite moment. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I think it's when Harry bloody Wilson came in and got that 16 points, and it was just like one return after the other. And I was like, I can't believe I brought this guy in, and he's cooked 16 points straight out the gate. And he carried on. I think that's actually the moment. Harry Wilson, when he came in on that hit, and everyone said, why are you taking a hit in game week 16? That's when I bought him. That's right. I took the -4, and everyone goes, you're an idiot. And I ended up beating everyone that week by about 30 points. And I got over 100 points in a single game week. And it was all because of the fact that my trading that week was just elite. I bought in so many players that banged that week. It was that the net transfer game from my moves that week was almost 30 points. It was insane. That was definitely the week. Harry bloody Wilson.
Trig, I'm going to come in because I don't know. This was my favourite moment. I don't know if you'd agree because this was a joint moment. My favourite moment.
You're going to steal my one now.
What? The one with
you're going to say Joe.
Joe, yeah. Fantasy Football
exactly.
Scout.
That was the one I was going to say.
Only one we've done during the day. I wasn't drinking. That was a legendary. I love that.
I agree. So we'll have to do a joint one for this one because that was the one I was going to say as well. That was excellent, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that.
That was great. That was great. He's a great bloke, isn't he? Andrew, what was your favourite moment this creating content this season, man?
Right.
Every moment you're on stream with me.
I actually, funnily enough, have 5 things listed, and you don't make a mention in any of them.
Right.
Oh no, you do. Right. I've got quite a lot here, but mainly because it has been quite. It would be easy for me to sit here and twine and be negative about this season, but it's actually been a really positive one, and I just wanted to get more positivity into it. So some of my favourite moments, the deducing Trig's FPL clues. That video was so much fun to make. Where I had all the the schizophrenic and over-analysing every tiny little thing. What did it come up with? It said auto captain Haaland. It said Elliot Anderson, the Geordie Maradona. You know, it called all these things, and it was just so much fun. It's so different to most other content, and it was just a lot of fun. I think the intro to the Anthony Gordon captaincy video, reaction video, where I had I had you and Trig talking, oh, is he doing it for the views? I had my own things. I had, Az and Yelena were in it, and it was like all these little clips and the proper dramatic music pumping it up, and then it ends with, I really think he's going to get multiple returns, and then it cuts into that comedy music. It's just flashing up the pictures of him getting sent off. I think it was just so much fun. The shed rants, come on, I don't need to say much about them. They're just fun to do. The reaction to them is fun. People enjoy them. Because I do the walking videos, when it was chucking it down and my wife and kids are at home, I can't actually do any reaction. They came out of the necessity to get a video out, and they've just become they've taken on a life of their own. I've only done 4 of them, and it's all people remember me for. The fat bald bloke ranting in his shed about FPL, but I love him. There's so much, like you say, it's like I can get my the inner child can be the wrestler he always wanted to be, calling out all the big shots and all that. But there's 2 others that I would say. The first one, sorry if I'm rambling a bit and a bit boring, but I don't care. The first one was doing the black box for the first time, because that was a massive thing for me. It was it was like a different kind of level of confidence. For me, I was, the first time I came on here with you, I had about 2,000 words of notes on the interview, and then when we first went live, it was all the pressure, and then going on the black
FPL
box.
Remember, I was telling Trig about that the other day. It wasn't even working, was it? You couldn't even understand most of what we were saying.
But the black box, I go on it, and we've been streaming to, at the time, about 100 people, and I'm seeing 1,000 people watch it. 14,000 watched it overall, and obviously I've watched Az for years, and I was really nervous about going on and making a tit of myself on such a big stage. It's the biggest platform I've ever had, and you worry. Well, I worry that I'm going to embarrass myself and make a tit of myself. And I think I killed it. I thought I was really good that night, and I don't think it could have gone any better. And on a personal level, that just gave me so much confidence for streaming. It gave me so much confidence just being in this space.
Was it not after you just captained Gordon as well?
It was I. So here I am, the biggest platform I'll probably ever have in the game, and I've just captained a red card to a 9.8 million rank. It's but it was so good. From something on my channel, I would say the Trout interview was my favorite one. And I've had a lot of great interviews. I've had Az on, I've had all 3 of you on, I have had FPL Fran, I have had Praz. The Praz interview was great, but that Trout one was really special because everybody else I've had on or streamed with on other channels, like Above Average or the Double Pivot or Darius's channel, I've known them, I've watched them. Trout, I'd seen a 15-minute video, that 15 minutes of a video that Trig sent me, and he's like, this is how you need to be using the models, this is how you need to play the game. And then, Solio reached out to me and said, oh, James wants to come on. And I didn't really know who he was beyond that brief thing. And it was nervous for me because there wasn't a lot to go on from that. I could, when I've got other people, and there's a lot of information to draw on. With Trout, there wasn't. And he's so different in his approach to the game than I was, and talking about a subject that I didn't know a lot about. And
it was brilliant. It was brilliant when he came on the podcast, wasn't he?
Yeah, and when he came on, I think we went for about 2 hours, and it was just an absolute pleasure. The lad comes on, he's so charismatic, he's so engaging, he's so funny, and the lad makes the algorithm models cool, and that's the fact of the matter. Like, if he was the only person in the world using these algorithm models, everybody would want to do it because the lad is magic. And that interview for me was just magic, you know, because it was two completely opposite perspectives having a great conversation. And yeah, I really, really liked it. So there's my top 5. Doing the black box for the first time, the intro to my Anthony Gordon captaincy reaction video, the shed rants, deducing Trig's FPL clues, and my interview with Trout. Sorry for hogging the airtime.
That's all right.
I bet you wish you could have cut me off after 1 minute instead of rambling on for the other 6.
Oh, no. Oh, well, there's a comment in here about this as well. Claire's saying, apparently Tina is what stops you taking toilet trips.
Yeah, it's the tenor pads. They're like adult diapers.
Nappies.
Adult nappies,
oh, right,
yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
My mum's got some of them. Okay, I'm going to have to throw it out now. That Banjo's saying, next season, name your team Gary. It's called Gary. It is Gary. The Banjo's also saying when D-Unit gets the players' names wrong is a highlight. FPL have a point saying D-Unit's watch-alongs, and I will agree with that. I enjoy D-Unit's watch-alongs very much. Bendy saying mine is to watch the Pubcast every time Gary meets Darius for crying about Andersons. Kind of said shed rants are epic. Rob Taff, another for D-Unit's watch-alongs. Come saying Nick and his animal interactions.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that with the parrot stealing the muffin was one of my favourite moments.
Do you remember that one I made?
That little video.
Do you remember that one I made a short of where you found a dead bloody parrot underneath your? Do you remember when we were streaming? And you were like, "What's this? What's this?" The cat's brought in a bloody dead bird.
Oh yeah.
There was that giant walrus thing that chased you on the beach as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That's going to be my worst. That's going to be my worst moment in a minute.
Come saying, Darius impersonating Chris Kamara. I think it means Chris Kavanagh there, and Gary's mispronouncing names. FPL have a point, another shed rant. Vic is saying the unit's reaction to Cunha's goal celebration. Banjo saying algorithms are a dancer. I don't know what that means.
It's because of the song Rhythm is a Dancer.
Okay.
Anthony Alanga.
All right, okay, yeah. And a nice comment from Simon there.
About him.
Nice comment, Simon. All 4 legends on here. Your content has got me through some tough moments this year. All you deserve many more views and subscribers. Big thanks to all of you. Thank you very much, Simon. Right, let's get on to the next one. What was your worst moment creating content this season? I haven't actually thought about this. I'm going to come to Andrew, despite just dominating the mic, because he does have notes. I don't know what my worst one is.
Yeah, that's
Andrew,
fine.
you're not allowed 5 this time.
I've only got one, and it's actually nothing to do with FPL content in the same way, because when it comes to like the videos and the streams, I feel like I've been blessed with an audience that has been very supportive. Like a lot of people get audiences, they get people like, I know Trig gets a lot of grief in his comments. D-Unit gets a lot of trolls in his, and I don't feel like for some reason, I don't seem to get any of it. I just get people being really supportive. And so I don't have a bad moment creating content in that sense. The worst moment for me with FPL content was when I did FPL Traitors 3, and like it's just a game, you know. It's like I don't know if you've seen the Traitors. There's 20 good guys and there's 3 bad guys, and the bad guys, or 4 or 5, and the bad guys every night they kill one of the good guys. And
you did 3 FPL Traitors?
Well, I did the 3rd one. Like there was one. FPL? Just in the FPL community.
Wow,
I only did. Yeah, Greyhead's done 3.
Wow.
And I was involved in the 3rd one.
Okay.
So yeah, so like every day you've got to vote for who you think is one of the bad guys murdering people, and this is the worst thing for me, because I was really enjoying the game. I was playing really quite well, you know, like analysing. If I had doubts about people, I'd bring them to them. And then on the Friday night, a childhood friend of mine died quite unexpectedly, really young, and it absolutely fucked my head. And I didn't sleep all night. And then I had to go into this game where everyone is lying to you. Everyone's trying to fuck with your head. And I was not in the headspace for it at all. Greyhead actually said, do you want to take the day off? And I should have done it. But I didn't. I went back in. And I don't know if any of you know of a content creator called FPL Focal. Young up and coming person in the field. Well, he was in the game with me, and I went in, and because my head was in the space, I thought I need a win after everything that with my friend dying. I need a win, and so I laid a trap, and I started talking about somebody being set up. And an FPL Focal came in and commented and deflected the conversation. And after that, I was on him. I'm like, you're a traitor, Focal. This is all traitor nonsense. And, but after that, it sounds like nothing there, but he took it really personally because there was one person in the game who, was quite enamored by FPL Focal. So, and somebody else had suggested that maybe they've done Focal's bidding because of, who he is, the size of his platform and all that. And, I didn't raise that point, but I did repeat it at times. And then he started taking it really personally, saying, I can't believe you're calling me the sort of person that would abuse my position for the sake of a game and all this. And it's like, I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about your role in this role-playing game. I'm not even seeing you as a person. I'm seeing you as a traitor. But because of my head being in the space it was, I was unable to realize that he wasn't actually trying to save his position in the game. Focal was actually really quite upset by it. And it was really bothering him. And I should have, if it had been any other day, I would have noticed and I would have reined back on it a bit because, I don't play games to upset people or fall out with people. But he took it really personally. He ended up quitting the game afterwards because of it all. And it was just a horrible feeling to know that I'd upset someone playing a game because I wasn't able to make my point better, or I wasn't able to realize I was actually really upsetting someone. So that was my worst moment. And but I sent him a message afterwards, and he says it's all forgiven. But
that's good. I was just going to say, not want to sound like I'm standing up for you, but having taken part in the game, so it is. People might think if they've not played it, like some silly game, but it does. You get into it mentally. Do you know what I mean? It does. I had a few, not anything on that scale, but I had a few little bust ups with people here and there. It gets to you a lot more than you'd expect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's an intense game because for one, you're enjoying it and you don't want the fun to end. And then somebody comes out and you're calling people liars there. Like I said it in my vlogs. What you have to do is tell people call people who are telling the truth. You have to convince everyone that they're lying, even if they're not. And it's a hard game, and it is an intensive game, especially the way we play it, because it's non-stop for the whole thing. You're constantly texting, and I just feel like if I'd have taken that day off, I could have still made the same argument against him the following day, but just been a bit better about it, a bit more, bit more detached from the process. So I do regret that. I am also. We're 2 hours in. Somebody wants to timestamp this because he's not on Twitter anymore. But I'd like him to see this. That stream we did last summer when I called out FPL Bateman and I was calling him, see you next Tuesday. And I absolutely ripped into the lad. And it was entertaining and it was cathartic and it made a lot of people feel better. But it was the wrong way to go about things. I should have. It's one thing when you're taking the piss out of someone like Trig or Darius and they've got the chance to respond. But Bateman, for all his faults or for all the way people perceive him, and the way he conducts himself or conducted himself, because he's been traced off Twitter now. He got doxxed and he's been traced off Twitter, and that's never nice to see. But the way I that last summer was the wrong way to go about it. It was done to make people alike feel better, and I shouldn't have done it really. And so I will say to Marcus, I will apologize for conducting myself the way I did last summer in that stream. I should have approached things differently, and it's not something I would repeat in the future. So to Bateman, I still think your behaviour on Twitter was bad, but my behaviour on this stream last summer was also bad, and two wrongs don't make a right. So I apologise for what I said about you last summer.
And I'll jump in here. I took a slide out, which was what was the worst moment in the FPL community this season. I will say the worst moment for all the negative stuff he said was him being doxxed. I mean, I don't think you can justify that. But I want to stick to being a bit more lighthearted. What was your worst moment creating FPL content this season? It's not really lighthearted, is it? But Trig, I'll come to you, my friend.
Yeah, it's nearly being killed by a sea lion was mine. I mean, people thought it was funny, right? But that thing weighed over a ton. It's like, unless you've been up next to one of them, it's like literally weighs a ton. And when it started charging me, I thought I was a goner because I was lying down on the sand, very hard to move. I tried to get out of the way, and your feet just sink in the sand, and like people are going, "Oh, look at how slow it was moving," but they're not. They're quite quick, like over a short distance. And when it started getting up steam and charging, I thought it was going to. I mean, I turned my back on it to try and lift myself off and escape, and I was expecting that thing to come crashing down on my back. I thought I was a goner. I was shaking for about 10 minutes afterwards. These Japanese people have been winding it up. You're not supposed to blooming do things to them, and they're like prodding it and with tripods and everything on their cameras, and it got all wound up, and then it blooming charged me, and that was So
I remember you turned round and it was miles away, and then it was right up your arse, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looked miles away on the camera, but really in real life, it was like it was moving quick. It was, wasn't it? It was right there. I thought I had time. Like I was filming it, wasn't I? And I'm going, oh, look, he's getting a bit annoyed here. And then I thought, shit, he's actually like a lot closer than I. I don't know what he would have done if he would have stopped when he got up next to me, or whether he would have like butted me or something, probably, wouldn't he? And like they do, they weigh over a ton, so like wild animal. So my animal videos have been very entertaining. I mean, that parrot one, that was on the trip where I did that clue video for Andrew, gave him a video, and he came up with that wonderful thing for the parrot. So I formed the parrot's team. The parrot got 40k, and if I'd listened more to Andrew's video, I would have had Timber in there as well. And so I was going, no, we don't want him. Parrot's gone mad. We won't put Timber in. And but that was my worst kind of moment. I mean, the real worst moment. So when I try and do a video and then realize the sound's all messed up because I've been on here and being on StreamYard lowers the volume.
Yeah, bloody Gary.
And I'll do a really good video, and then I'll go and listen to it, and I won't be. I'll have to redo the whole thing. They're the worst kind of moments, really, in making content. And like Andrew says, when you start getting negative comments, they're never nice either, are they? But
no.
Yeah, generally, I love doing the content.
Darius, how about yourself, mate?
I can't really think of it. I feel like the international break really was, I don't know, I felt like it was a bit hard to get back into it after that because it just lasted for what felt like forever. Outside of that, I actually don't really have anything, to be honest.
You love content.
Other than
you love your content.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the season. Even though like this season was like, in terms of finishing rank, was way worse than the season before. I enjoyed the actual season more. I felt like last year was a way more pressure than just finishing where I finished this year. I don't know what that says about the game, but I just enjoyed it.
We've had the pleasure of interacting with us lot, which you didn't
That's
have.
3 week break. That's 3 week break. I thought it ruined the entire season in a way.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
felt like it was the end of the season,
ended.
didn't it?
Mm.
It felt like it was the end, and then we had to come back for like 3 or 4 weeks. It was a bit like watching a TV series where you have a year before the last episode comes on, and you've forgotten what the whole thing's about.
No, I never got back into it, really.
No, I never got back into it either. It ruined it for me.
And of course, you came back and everyone wildcarded into the exact same team anyway. So it was like there was nothing more boring. The worst thing is it's going to be the way nowadays. Like I think next season they're compressing the September and October international breaks into one longer one, and it's going to be crap.
I also think that
why did they have the 3 week break? What was that for?
I think they had the cup weekend after the international break.
Yeah, they squeezed it in. Yeah, they squeezed it in. So just read out a couple of comments. Benji's saying, playing Mafia Traitors well for friends, it's always intense to play. When I was younger, my mates and I had crazy arguments with them. Yep, exactly. And the other ones. Hippie saying, I saw one seal get kissed by a rose. Very good. Craig saying, you missed that one. Actually, the chat can't really comment on this one, can they? But let's move on to our penultimate question. I don't know why I kept this one in, but I have done. Who is your most underrated FPL content creator of the season? I'm going to go to toilet again. I need my sponsorship to stop me having to do this. Darius, I'll pass this one on to you.
Gary's trying to get out of answering in case he upsets all the ones on his program that he doesn't.
We'll make him answer. We'll make him answer, and then we'll make him answer who was the worst guest of the season afterwards.
He looks a bit like that bloke out of Coronation Street, doesn't he? That Hughes. What was his name? The dustman that used to be in Coronation Street, who always wore
Les
that
Battersby.
vest. No, not Les Battersby. Before him.
Oh, I don't know. He looks like he looks like Lado from Keeping Up Appearances. Hyacinth Bouquet.
Yeah, that's the same one, isn't it? That's the same. I think that's the one who was on Coro.
I can't remember his name, but that's
Onslow,
exactly who he looks like.
No.
Onslow, that's the one.
yeah, that's the same actor. Same actor.
Darius is wondering who we're talking about here.
I've got no idea who you're talking about.
I'll get a picture up and send it to Gary to put up on the screen afterwards. So, Onslow.
I think his name's Hughes. His last name's Hughes, I think.
So, Darius, answer the question.
Yes. Most underrated FPL content creator of the season. In terms of I'm assuming Gary. I mean, it's a bit stupid saying ourselves, so I'm not going to say ourselves because that would be the logical answer. Someone that I've actually watched a few times this season that is massively under. Well, he's had a bit of a season like me, but he's also been a very good supporter of my channel. Is actually FPL Don't Panic from your neck of the woods, Trig. He's actually. I mean. I actually quite enjoyed the way that he did his, what do you call it? He had like an Excel spreadsheet of like the fixtures and stuff like this. And like for someone that was just completely different, the completely independent work and was just completely non-mainstream, he actually was really good. I quite enjoyed listening to him.
I haven't heard of him.
Well, he's from your. You should be getting his stuff, Trig, because he's from New Zealand, mate. Yeah. So, he found my channel through yours. So I'm surprised that you've never interacted because I'm sure
I probably have interacted with him, but I just don't recall seeing his.
This FPL Don't Panic.
Yeah.
You'd see he did an entire rap when he was doing impressions of me and Trig.
Yeah.
Gary, I've just added a video to an image to the slideshow. Would you just put it up on the screen for a second, please?
As long as it's not comparing me to King Kong Bundy again. No, I'm not playing that up.
God, people need to know who Onslow is.
Oh,
God.
He's got the beer right, anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, I know who Onslow is. Yes, he's off Some Others Too Have Him with Mrs. Bucket.
Yeah. Keeping up
I know who you're
appearances.
talking about now. Mrs. Bucket. Yep.
Yeah.
I do not look like Onslow from Some Others Do Have Them. I
You
draw the
used
line.
to wear a,
You see-
you
you
used
see-
to wear a
you
cap
that
all
for
the
Lady
time
Week.
as well.
Just needs to fillet.
Do you know what used to frustrate me? I used to watch that when I was a kid. No, I'm not going to tell you about that, sadly.
Great show.
You know, his wife was very underappreciated in the bedroom, and I always used to think, as like an 11-year-old, I could sort his wife out, despite the fact his wife was like 60. And yeah, my mind goes in strange places.
Yeah, very strange.
That bit's getting edited out.
So, Trig,
Yeah, keeping up appearances. Not some others do have them with Frank Spencer. Keeping up
Yeah, that was
appearances.
brilliant. Frank Spencer's an old mate. What's her name? For what? Betty. Betty.
Betty.
I'm just gonna
Right,
I'm just gonna get the ballot up there.
We've got FPL Don't Panic, who I do need to keep in. I do need to get in contact with. Some people have been asking me to for ages. Andrew,
Well,
Trigger,
yeah.
you said yours.
I haven't said mine, but Trig can go first.
I haven't really got any. I like that the lady that does massages the mic.
Gary's ASMR person.
Reads out the fixtures.
Andrew, who's
Right.
yours, mate?
I have got three. Obviously,
Only three. I thought you'd have 17.
I could keep going, but I'm gonna keep it short because I'm gonna say Trout because he doesn't do enough content. If Trout was doing weekly podcasts, he'd be the biggest star in the whole scene. I genuinely believe that. He is an absolute superstar. So Trout, for me, is the most underrated FPL content creator around. I will give credit to Walsh from FML FPL. I did in my rant video in the shed, because he went on the wire. Season. Yeah, he went on the wire and in game week 4, and he absolutely called how this season would go with the DEFCONs, with the penalty takers. He nailed it before anybody else realised. And I don't think even he's done that well playing it, to be honest, but he called exactly what would happen. And, you know, someone with that sort of prescience deserves credit. And this one, my third one, this is going to get a bit of a reaction, I think. But
FPL Pubcast.
I think one of the most underrated FPL content creators this season is Big Man Bakar. And I know what you're thinking.
Off.
No, I will say
we've lost all respect. We've lost all respect with that comment. That is hideous.
You haven't. Whatever, irrespective of his content, which, you know, it is what it is. However he makes his money, Big Man Bakar for over a year has been getting grief and stick for just copying Ben Krellin. Well, this season, Trig called him out on it in like game week 4, game week 5, and then Big Man Bakar stopped copying Ben Krellin. Big Man Bakar left Ben Krellin in the dust. He went on Big Man, Big Man Bakar.
Whatever people, whoever's good that season, he's just tactical about it. Nothing good about it. He just copies what the best creator is doing that year, gets on their coattails, and then sells it for 120 quid to idiots that are dumb enough to pay for it.
And this is why he's the most underrated content creator, because the man finished 4th in the world. Well, he isn't though, is he, Darius? He finished in the top 1,000, and he's not going to get any credit for that because Big Andy finished a little bit higher than him. But Big Man Bakar,
because he copied Andy.
Big Man Bakar. Well, this is what I'm saying. You're saying he's just copying Andy, but Andy doesn't make his transfers until the last 5 seconds on the deadline stream. Bakar doesn't do the deadline streams. Some would say Big Andy got where he is copying Big Man Bakar, and that is the narrative I will push for the rest of the season.
A pile of shit.
This reaction proves that Big Man Bakar is the most underrated content creator. The man finished 4th in the world.
Underrated. Yes. Yeah, maybe.
He's non-credible. He's been non-credible for about 3 seasons.
He has earned his credibility back. He responded to the criticism that he was a copier of Krellin, and he has left Ben Krellin in the dust. Ben Krellin is lying on his back, staring up at the lights in the ring as Big Man Bakar raises his hands in victory. Big Man Bakar, whatever you think about how he makes his money, I'm not a fan of the bloke. I'm not a fan of the way he makes his money, but we give credit where it's due in the Pubcast. And Big Man Bakar responded to Nick Trigg's criticism, and he left Nick Trigg in the mud. He left Big Ben Krellin in the mud. Tom Dollymore's about 50,000 places behind Big Man Bakar. Big Man Bakar is the leader. He is the shepherd in the field of the outsourcer sheep. Big Man Bakar has earned the title Big Man for one more season.
Where did Dollymore end up?
A long way behind Big Man Bakar, that's for sure.
But I would say he's the most FPL. You know what, Darius, I'll just say, I would say he's the most underrated FPL player. I wouldn't say he's the most underrated FPL content creator. Content creator is different than player.
I would like Nightmare to sit there and listen to Big Man Bakar every time he gets on a pod and tell me you enjoy it, because
exactly,
my God,
that's what I mean.
He's actually one of the worst content creators out there, and he's just a blatant copier. So what? I can't believe we've just given him 5 minutes of airtime.
Big Man Bakar. You can say what you want. I want to be the best. I want to be the best at this game. I think I might have to.
That's already paid for next season.
I will get Jorgen to give me a solo subscription for free for a year as a collaboration opportunity, and I will use that money saved to join Big Man Bakar's secret WhatsApp group to get that personalized treatment. Like you say, he's a bad content creator. Why would he give out the goods for free when he's making 150 quid a season off people? The man knows how the game is played. Some would say he is the best content creator because he gives just enough to get you interested, and then he backs it up on the field of play.
Right, let's move on from this. I do love. I've got a secret account. I've called my second Gmail account Big Man Bakar's biggest fan, and I go in FPLD unit some stream sometime and just say how brilliant Big Man Bakar is. But let's have a look at who the chat think. I'm trying to get down. FPL Don't Panic. Who also got there? Double Pivot Lads, of course. Big Band Backhander. I don't know who he is. Where's the mute button, Gary? Bakar has the personality of Keir Starmer and makes more money. FPL Fran. Right. FPL Fran. Combs saying 3 that I have put forward that have no podcast affiliations are Addicts, FPL Last Resort, and FPL Double Pivot. Well, we do have some links with Double Pivot, of course. FPL Last Resort, I am in discussions with Richie and what's the lad's name? Bullet to come on next season. FPL Addicts, I will have to reach out to. And Simon saying, Candy, if ever he started to create content. Good shout. Right, last one, lads. Last one. The next we're in danger of going under 3 hours here. We're only been going for 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Hang on a minute. Where are you moving on to, Gary? Who is your most underrated FPL content creator?
Well, I haven't really got one, right?
Obviously. Oh, yeah, he's avoided the question.
Well, no. Well, I can answer the question, but
let's talk FPL.
I have one. No, let me answer the question, right? Anyone who ever watched the first video I ever made on this channel, which was an FPL content creator tier list, will know a year and a half ago I was a connoisseur. I was like the cheese man, someone who knows every single cheese, what they smell like, how nice they taste. I was that of FPL content creators. Since I started doing this channel, I don't watch FPL content anymore. So, the smaller channels and stuff, I would have no idea. I would say the most underrated FPL content creator is, could say Punk because he's about to join the channel, but he's not done any videos. So I'm going to say the double pivot then, and just escape because they are collaborators with the channel. I honestly have no idea.
Gary, I think double pivot's a good answer. They're very good. But what I want to know is who was the best guest on the Pubcast for you this season, and who was the worst guest?
He's already said the best one, I think.
Yeah, he said he's most underrated content creator. Oh, I suppose Joe, yeah.
Joe, I think, like you said, what's his name? Your man from Solio, Trout, he was very good. Worst guest, Guy FBL Nightmare keeps coming on and talking for 15 minutes. No, I'm not going to say a worst guest. You know, I would not be able to say that. There are a few things to mind, but I'm not gonna.
That guy whose mic was horrendous. I mean, just
Rich.
because of the fact his equipment was rubbish.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault. That was because you couldn't hear him.
I mean, it was his
that's
fault.
not a problem. It's his equipment. He just couldn't hear him.
And what's happened to Lynn? That's what we all want to know. Where's Lynn?
Yeah,
he's still alive.
She was on quite a bit, wasn't she, earlier in the season? She was doing quite well, and she's vanished.
She came on 4 times. I checked the other day, 4 times.
Yeah.
Before Christmas as well.
Where did she go? Thailand?
Yeah. But that was like 6 months ago, and she hasn't been on X or Blue Sky or anything since then.
No, so if anyone knows who Lynn
Hashtag is Lynn alive?
Right. Anyway, to get to our final slide, the Premier League, lads, is not due to start to the 22nd of August, which, going by my dates, is just under 3 months away. 2 questions. Do you miss FPL when it isn't here? And I think this second question is going to be slightly eroded by the fact that World Cup is happening. What will you be doing this summer to replace thinking about FPL watching football? Darius, I'm going to come to you first, mate.
No, when it's not on, to be honest with you, I quite enjoy when it's not on. Just because it is a long season. It's a bit like, I love football, but like it's good when there is a bit of a break, so that way you get excited for the new season again. In terms of the World Cup, very excited to watch England. I mean, I'm a little bit, to be honest, before they released the squad, I was very confident England were going to win. After seeing the squad, I'm not confident we're even going to make the quarterfinals anymore. I really think he's bottled the squad. I don't like the defense.
Did our odds go down from like second favourite to like 7th favourite? I haven't checked, but
yeah, I don't know. Like I looked at that team and I just think, how the hell is Morgan Gibbs-White not on the plane, considering he's the top scoring Englishman in the Premier League this season? Literally finished the season like a barnstormer, and yet we're taking the idiots like Jordan Henderson along for what? One merry-go, let's all sing Kumbaya around the campfire. Like, I've got no faith in that squad, and I think that Tuchel might be not the England manager by the end of the World Cup.
Yeah, but Jordan Henderson and Gibbs-White play different positions, so it's not a fair comparison. It's like I've seen a lot of people comparing like Gibbs-White to Noni Madueke, and I'm thinking, why are you comparing these two players? You know, Gibbs-White isn't a right winger. Like, I'm going to give Tuchel his due here. He's coming. He's had the balls to pick a squad he thinks is going to be effective. And he's, you know, everyone says, why can't they pick the players, the best players for the best team? Tuchel's done that. He's dropped Foden. He's dropped Palmer. He's got a lot of shit for it. But he's stood on ceremony and he's backed himself. And we might not agree with it. We might not agree with it. Like, Harry Maguire, like a lot of people crying about Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's not a great defender. He's taking
Kwanzaa and John Stones, who's played 100 minutes all season. I mean, that just screams, what the fuck?
Well, lads, I'm going to take the risk. I feel like the biggest omission is Lewis Hall, because there's not a left-footed left back. And like you look at Newcastle against Barcelona at St James's Park, and Lewis Hall absolutely dominated Yamal. He did naught except score a dodgy penalty in stoppage time. Lewis Hall dominated him, and he should be in that squad for me, ahead of Livramento. I'm not even being biased, because Livramento's been shite as well.
And he's injured, and Livramento's injured.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand a lot of the squad.
Right, I'm muting both of them because I'm not really interested in England talk. Craig, I'm going to come to you, my friend. Also, I want to end the stream. Do you miss
I
FPL
can
when it's
unmute
not
myself.
Shouldn't have told him that. I've muted him again. Craig, do you miss FPL when it's not here? And what will you be doing this summer to replace watching FPL?
I don't really miss it because I'm still thinking about it a lot of the time. You know, I'm planning ahead for next season already. It's like I will be watching the World Cup, and part of that watching the World Cup will be with FPL in mind. You know, so I'm always thinking about new strategies and stuff. But I actually enjoy it, like Darius, when it's not here, because I don't really enjoy the weekends of FPL. I enjoy it more during the week when we're like working out what we're going to be doing, who we're bringing in. But the actual game week itself is very intense, and I like lose sleep and getting stressed all weekends. So it's nice to have weekends now where I'm not totally stressed out because of FPL.
Yeah, 2 months,
so it's a good break. Like Darius said, you know, you need to recharge your batteries for the next one. And I think the World Cup will make a huge difference. Huh?
You will be doing Fantasy Football World Cup, I guess, isn't it stressful?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be playing fantasy football. So,
but it's not stress. It's not a stress the same way as FPL is.
No, it's not a stress. It's a lot of fun. So I think people who are going to just make the same team as everyone else for the World Cup are just being ridiculous. You know, just pick the players you want to have fun with. I mean, personally, I'm going to pick one player from each team. So I've got 15 different games to watch where I've got a player in. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of thing. And but yeah, no, I'll enjoy the summer. It's winter here though, so which isn't so good. But I mean, 22nd of August, not that long ago. I watched a video yesterday that predicted the new game would come out between the 20th and the 24th of July. So, I mean, as soon as that happens, we're back in it, aren't we?
24th July, yeah.
So
yeah,
it's not the 22nd at all. It's like the end of July we got to hang out for, which isn't that far away, is it really, when you think about it? Once the World Cup's finished, another few weeks the game will be open. And that is the best time of the season for me, is pre-season, when we're all new and shiny, we're all on 0 points, we've all got great plans for the season ahead. And that's my favourite time in FPL, before the ball's even been kicked.
100%.
I think it'll launch the week after the World Cup final. Because if you look at the World Cup one, that's literally launched the day after the Premier League finished. And I'm sure last time there was a tournament, it launched a week after. Maybe it was like 7 or 8 or 9 days.
Yeah, the Euros, I think. It was like a week or so later.
Yeah, because the last World Cup was in winter, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know when the World Cup finishes. When's the final? Anyone know?
Not sure, mate.
I've not checked either.
Lad, sorry I cut you off. I know we went 3 hours last year, but I am sweating absolutely. I need to turn my aircon on again. Which is why I was like, if we get into World Cup squad discussions, we're going to be here forever.
Palace aren't doing very well, are they? They've 24 minutes gone. They've got an XG of 0 so far.
The opposition haven't done anything either, but they've been racking up the yellow cards, the other team, so I reckon it's inevitable there's going to be a red card in this game at some point.
What do you mean?
18th or 9th of July is the final, according to the lads in the chat.
Yeah, we've got nothing, have we? We'll finish that fantasy, and then a week later we'll be back on the Premier League fantasy. So this summer's going to be brilliant.
I don't think I will play the World Cup fantasy. I think I am going to have a reset and a refresh. And I was umming and ahhing, and then I said in the group chat I might give it a miss. And then Trig called me a big baby, so now I have to not play because I have to stand up to bullying in all forms. You know, Trig trying to bully me into playing will not work, and maybe I could come on and maybe I could beat Trig and put him in his place before the season starts.
It's a good warm up. Good warm up for FPL.
Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, in fact, thinking about it, when I last got the top 10K, I'm pretty sure I did quite well in the Euro fantasy the season, like in the summer before. So maybe I should Maybe I should put you in your place over the summer,
Might as
Trig.
well.
But,
it's easy
but
to
you know,
enter.
what I will say for me is like the time zone. You know, you're talking captaincy changes at 4 a.m. What sort of loser would stay up through the middle of the night to play fantasy games?
It's brilliant for us. We've got an advantage.
You don't need to, for a change. Hark at them complaining now.
I know.
They're telling us to suck it up for years of time zone. But
I don't think I'll play.
But you don't need to make your captain changes in the middle of the night, though, because there are plenty of games where you are going to be available to watch where you can change your captain. So,
lads, I'm going to wrap it up because, as I say, I'm sweating like a bucket and I need to turn my aircon on. I think we should say,
Harry, just go and get a wet flannel. Go and stick a wet flannel on your head. It'll be a good way to end the season. Under a wet blanket, just like these DEFCONs have made FPL.
I just want to say, I think we need to say thank you, everyone, particularly if you're one of the 69 watching now. Thank you so much for making the podcast, what it's been this season. Because, lads, we wouldn't do it unless people watch, would we? Including your own channels. So, thanks so much for watching. This one has been a bit different. I'll hand over to all the lads for a final comment in a minute. I don't know if Andy's going to ask me. Actually, no, I'll hand over to them and then I'll give my final comment. Trig, final thoughts before we sign off for the podcast until probably July at least.
Yeah, I don't want it to end because I've got to get dressed and go for a run, and it's about -2 outside, so I'll be going out for a run.
It's going to be ending, mate. I need to do
final
something.
thoughts. It's been an epic season, hasn't it? And we all get stressed over it, and really, there's no need, is there? Because we've all ended up. Well, me and you, Gary, have ended up comfortably in the top 100k. So all these getting stressed about 1 point bonuses being added the next day and all that sort of thing. Just need to chill out, relax, and enjoy it, So next season is going to be much more relaxed. But yeah, it's been great, hasn't it, this season? And in particular, all our collaboration together has been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I've dreamt of this for years, having a group of independent content creators come together, helping each other out. And it's been perfect, hasn't it?
No, Steve messaged me today. Since Elite FPL have gone, we are probably the biggest, most with the biggest, most watched group of independent content creators between the 4 of us, particularly out there, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not even just the streams; it's the group chat that we have as well. That I love that because I can talk about the game with people who care about the game all the time, and it also saves me from boring my wife and my pals in the real world with the same sort of stuff they don't want to talk about. Why would I talk about it with some of these losers I call friends when I could talk about it with the legendary Nick Trig? Absorb all his lessons. But what I will say, Trig says, we shouldn't take it seriously. We'll see next season when he's 50 points behind me after game week 12. We will see how seriously Nick Trig is taking the game then. I can't wait. The Nightmare Redemption story. It's going to be epic. I would actually get your money on top 500.
Top 500 for you?
Yeah, I've just got a feeling.
That's a bit conservative.
Top 500. I'm going to beat Big Andy this season.
500,000?
Once me and Solio combine, the world won't have anything about it. I'm going to take the Trout formula and actually do it well, rather than like Trout when he does the sort of transfers he finished the season with.
He went a bit far at the end there, didn't he? He took Bruno out and... he took Bruno out and he went for it, didn't he? You got to give him the credit for not settling for 50k or whatever, but it did cost him. I mean, I think you finished ahead of him in the end, didn't you, Gary?
Well, exactly. No disrespect to that. Darius, your final words of the podcast this year, my friend.
That's been great. The lock-in in particular was obviously, I think I've been on every one bar the ones where there was during the international break. I was like, I'm not coming on to talk about nothing. But other than that, it's been absolutely brilliant. Even my ones where I've had to get up midweek as well have been really good fun and the ones where it's just been like the 4 of the 6 of us from the actual WhatsApp chat on the stream has been brilliant, and hopefully we can do a lot more of that next year as well.
Yeah, I would say less outside guests, but a bigger regular pool with Punk. I would get somebody else involved as well. Like, I would get Trout in. But there's plenty of other people that I feel could.
Well, I'd get Trout in if we could, but I don't know.
You're too scared to ask him. Oh, Andrew, will you ask Trout? He likes you more than me.
You're his mate.
You're his mate. Gary's rattled when his voice goes high pitched. But no, I think
this man does have a northern accent.
I think less guests. Nobody cares about the guests. People want this sort of relationship that we have with each other. They want this sort of banter, and that is what's going to make us stand out. You can watch FPL Fran on any channel. You can't watch us 4 together. Kanji, Roberto, FPL Punk, maybe Trout if Gary grows some balls. You just don't know. You can't watch that combination. That's what makes this channel unique.
That's true. And on that point, I'm going to end the stream. Cheers, everyone. Have a great summer.
And remember, if FPL stresses you out, just have a wank.
Exactly what he said. Cheers, everyone.